Up and at him, everybody. Up and at him. Up and at him. Yes. Can you smell what the roast is cooking? Good morning, everybody. This is...
Smells good. I smell something else.
Good morning, everybody, from everyone from Macon, Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the morning roast for Thursday, May 30th, 2013.
Oh my
this
God.
is Herb.
I have to cover that one. Who said that first? I smell a rat.
Uh-huh.
I smell a rat. I've never smelled a rat. Have you ever smelled mothballs?
Yeah, I smelled mothballs.
How the hell did you get your nose between their tiny little legs?
Ew.
God, it's too early for this. but no, it's a good
There's
joke.
nobody watching.
Yes.
I know, really.
No, there actually is. Whoever's out there watching.
Well, there may be somebody
I bet it's our buddy.
trolling.
I
What?
bet it's our buddy.
Somebody's
The
watching.
freak job. The freak show. That's what 3 people said that to me.
What?
Freak show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they watched the cherry bomb for the cherry bomb.
Somebody's out there fishing.
Yes.
Anyway, what the hell is today again? Oh, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday, May 30th, 2013. It's 8:04 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. It's close to, well, is it 60-something degrees? 70. Yeah, 70 degrees. Wow.
How was it? Wasn't yesterday beautiful?
Yeah, it was very beautiful.
And today's going to be?
70 with a high of 89 with a low of 69.
Wow. Perfect.
Degrees. Yes. Yes,
Perfect.
indeedy.
How about that?
Perfect weather.
Definitely perfect weather.
You know, it makes people want to sleep more, no? No,
Yeah.
no. The cold makes you want to sleep more.
Mm-hmm.
Except the pools aren't open in Bibb County.
Yes,
oh, yeah.
yes,
Speaking
yes.
of which,
You got that
that's one of
story?
the stories we're going to talk about. The
Yeah.
pools have been delayed.
Yeah, I may have, let's see if I could find that one.
It's somewhere. I think it's, let me see if I can find him. It's the last day of school in Monroe County.
Mm-hmm.
Macon is demolishing the old homes, planning to get rid of it. That's that 555 program that Rickett talks about. And we're going to talk about the election as well, because something came to my mind last night while I was talking to Mike, my landlord. Do you know that this may cancel out Rickett's ability to run?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if it goes back to the old rules,
He can't run again.
he can't run again.
Yeah.
So
Let him go flip hamburgers.
no, I'm serious. It's the funniest thing. I bet you right now he's sweating his ass.
Well, so is David.
Well-
David's counting being a nonpartisan.
Right.
David's already paid his money.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the same dilemma that Rickett has. Rickett, this will be his 3rd term.
Yeah, it would
And under the rules of the
can't run
old
again.
government, you can only run twice.
be. Right.
So this will cancel out his ability to run.
Yeah. That's,
And,
that's true.
So I think that's good news.
Hope you hear that, Rieger.
Yes, yeah,
Hope
I
you're-
do have
hope you're one of
some.
those
I
viewers
do have
that are
some
not
news,
like
even though
this.
it's kind of a bit of delayed. You know, of the Memorial Day weekend of driving.
Yeah.
So this is from Atlanta. It says officials from the Georgia Department of Public Safety said that 7 people were killed in crashes during the Memorial Day weekend. Officials say fatal crashes were reported in Brunswick, Thomasville, Reidsville, Milledgeville, Washington, and Fulton counties. Officials say the state troopers investigated 490 crashes over the long 4-day weekend, and the crashes resulted in 258 injuries. In a statement, the Georgia
Damn.
State Patrol Colonel Mark McDonald said the state troopers would increase patrols to look for impaired drivers, seatbelt violations, and other offenses during the long weekend. And McDonald said that 2012 state troopers investigated 326 crashes during the holiday weekend that resulted in 278 injuries and 6 deaths. Two of those 7 deaths that were during the Memorial Day weekend were in Middle Georgia. So
Wow. Well,
actually,
yeah.
it actually was better. Actually, the numbers were much smaller than it was last year, so we're actually getting somewhat better.
You know, I hate to say it, but Georgia drivers are some of the worst drivers in the nation. I
You're
mean,
from New York.
and I'm from New York. Yeah, when you drive in Manhattan, it's literally like driving in one of those video games. You know, I swear to
like
you.
Frogger.
Yeah, or Need for Speed or whatever
Yeah,
they
Need
call
for
that.
Speed. Yeah.
But it really is literally like a video game driving, especially in Manhattan. But here in Georgia, man, they cannot drive right. It seems like there's so many accidents here that are showing us that not as many people here either. So it really goes to show you. But,
City Bum says Florida and Jersey drivers are the worst, in my opinion. Wow.
by the way, City Bum, do you live in Florida? My brother's been talking up about Florida, and he said to me that that although Florida is the greatest state that he's ever experienced,
I'm not using XSplit anymore because I'm doing it the way I was doing it. It's a lot easier.
yeah, City Bum, he finds
all the changes.
oh, you grew up in New York City. Oh, what area in New York City? I didn't know that.
I'll turn the mic up a little, see if that'll help. All right.
Well, he's hearing us.
Well, how's that? That any better?
Queens. Oh, very good. Story. You know where I lived on East 32nd Street, right next to the Crystal Palace. I used to rent out and the surrounding areas. Yeah, me too. I lived in Astoria
I'm just waiting for Nick.
at the Crystal Palace. Wow, you're in Seattle. Well, that's the weirdest thing, how far you went from New York to the other side of the state. But good morning, Greek Fire. Nice to have you on board. Hope you'll enjoy the show and stick around.
Hey, Greek Fire, I want to thank you for joining my movie matinee last night.
Oh, cool. And good morning,
Hope you enjoyed it.
Lil B418. Good morning. Glad you can stop by and check us out.
Yes,
This is
yes,
the
yes.
Nut House.
Yeah. So anyway, what the hell was I saying? Yeah, City Bum. Queens. Let's go back to that. I lived in Astoria right next to the Crystal Palace. I'm not sure if you know where that is. I'm sure you do. Long Island and Westchester County and everything in between is my home turf. Same here. My sister still is on Long Island. We went from Massapequa Park to Freeport to and then now she lives in where the hell does she live now? She lives all the way out in Suffolk County now. So yeah, those are my old home grounds. My little sister lives on Staten Island still, and my brother, one of my brothers, of course, lives in New Jersey now, but he moved there years ago. And do you miss New York? Good morning, Fancy Fanny. Do you miss New York? I know I don't. Anyway, some other stuff in the news. You know, we
Speaking of New York, as by the way,
Very
that's
good.
from your. There was a story recently this morning about your hometown, New York City, or at least I should say about the mayor. There was a ricin poison letter sent to Michael Bloomberg over guns. It says letter sent to New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg and his anti-gun violence group appeared to include the substance ricin. I hope that's still correct. Yeah, ricin, R-I-C-I-N, and also issued threats to Bloomberg that reference gun issues. The chief spokesman of the New York City Police Department confirmed on a statement recently. It says anonymous threats to Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg in letters opened in New York City on Friday and by the director of the Mayors Against Illegal Guns in Washington, D.C. on Sunday contained material that, when tested locally, primarily indicated the presence of ricin, quote unquote. The NYPD Deputy Commissioner Paul J. Brown said in a statement. He added that the tests on the letter opened in New York also preliminarily indicated the presence of ricin in testing at the National Bioforensics Analysts Center in Maryland. The writer in letters threatened Mayor Bloomberg with references to debate on gun laws.
Must have been a spam call.
Probably. I mean,
They
Yeah.
love them up there.
You know,
Bloomberg, acknowledging the letters, told reporters that his organization won't back down from anti-gun efforts despite the threats.
yeah.
And it seemed like the letter was postmarked from someone in Louisiana, according to.
Louisiana, yeah, gun advocates. And you know what? I mean, look, if you are against the whole idea of gun control, I mean, come on. This is the same thing that happens with people who are anti-abortionists. You know, they don't want abortion, but then they go and murder people. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. They're saying, "Oh, you're murdering embryos and babies and all that,"
And then they
go
kill
and blow up the freaking place with the doctors and the pregnant mothers in it.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
make
kind
any
of
sense.
Yeah, I know it doesn't make sense. It's like cutting somebody's arm off for them when they stick a finger in a fan or something like that. You know.
Okay,
Yeah, see,
I'll take that as a good example. What the hell? Early morning. Well, let's go down our roster. Say good morning to everybody.
I just want to say something. City Bum, the reason why I'm not using the XSplit is because it doesn't let me queue up multiple videos all at once. I have to, every time a video changes, I got to be there to change it. So I went back to the old way, and it works. And also, the only reason why I wanted to use it was because XSplit does recording for you, but evidently, you know, Vaughn actually records for you too. So I'm just getting the recordings up with Vaughn. We're going to go like it is. Everybody have a great day. I'll be the voice in the background.
Yeah, there you go.
All right,
And
there
Ed
you go.
also, he says it sounded and worked great yesterday, but yesterday
Yeah,
we weren't on
Well,
XSplit.
no, we were doing the same thing.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing today. So that's good. You can add a different video to a different scene in XSplit.
Yeah, but I can do the same thing with the program I'm using with XSplit.
There you go.
I mean, with Adobe.
But we appreciate all your help in getting it, and if anything happens on this end, we'll just go back to XSplit and we'll just make sure that we're always on air.
What we really, really need is a real nice camera.
Yes.
If we had a regular camera that didn't have a mic built in,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be a piece of cake.
definitely.
Amen.
Well,
Well, either way, I've got a couple of local news stories. Once again, Macon is going to continue its plan on demolishing homes. Why don't you read that?
okay. Yeah, City of Macon is attempting to move forward with its plan to remove old abandoned homes from neighborhoods. 2 homes were demolished in the Bellevue area this morning.
Yeah.
The neighborhood is one included in Mayor Rickards' neighborhood cleanup plan that is set to revitalize areas throughout the city. The plan vowed to demolish 100 abandoned homes within 1 year. So far, the city has torn down 31 old houses this year. 16 of those were demolished since April. Bellevue residents say that the removal of an old Fair Street house is a relief from pests and criminals who may have once lurked around the building. I guess as squatters.
Yeah.
It provides a sense of security, especially with the summer out and kids are going up and down the street. They don't have to be afraid, says Bernicia, Spain. Robert Benton said he was concerned about the house when he moved to the area 3 years ago. Says, I thought it was an eyesore to the community. It seemed like I couldn't do anything about it, but I'm glad now that it's gone. Economic Development Director Wanzina Jackson says the city will demolish more dilapidated homes this year. Mayor Rickard has also included ongoing housing demolitions for his proposed budget for 2014.
You know what I say? Get the G-Wing guys over at the LEC and put them to work with a bunch of sledgehammers.
Well, you know what?
Let 'em to work.
Believe it or not, they actually had those guys mowing
That
up.
way they can let their aggression out. Like,
They actually had those guys. That's a good idea. They actually had some of those guys doing a lot of the mowing of the lawns in these abandoned houses. And let's talk about this for a minute because this is a very, very good topic to bring up, especially since some of these houses that they're tearing down really only need a couple of $1,000s, maybe a few, to fix them up.
Right.
And
right.
If you remember, we went to the abandoned house that I was staying at.
You're right. Right.
And that house itself needed less than $10,000 in repairs. The floors were perfect, the roofs were perfect, the walls were great, no holes in the walls, no nothing. Except it didn't have windows, didn't have a bathroom, didn't have a kitchen. But, I mean, it was clean as a whistle. I made sure I did that. And I was trying and attempting to purchase a house for $1, which the city used to do But now they're not doing that. They're gonna demolish anything that they feel is an eyesore in the community, irregardless of whether it's fixable or not. That's what are they gonna do now with the property? It's just gonna sit there and grow weeds. I mean,
I see what you mean.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Because the house where I live in now, which I've been living there for the past 3 years, it could have been one of those houses demolished, especially after the 2008 Mother's Day tornadoes. Back then, that was like 5 years ago. 2 years before that, this is when my aunt was taken to residential housing, residential living over at, I guess, where a place where it used to be called the Villas. Some people broke into it around back in 06 during the Labor Day weekend. That's a 4-day weekend, and they just basically just took all the I probably mentioned many times before, they took out all the good stuff. They took the Lazy Boy leather recliner and pretty much all the workable appliances, the refrigerator, freezer, stand up freezer. And even, they didn't steal the stove, but it was broken anyway.
You should see
and
these
washer and
houses.
dryer,
Yeah, you should see these. A lot of these houses are, less than 100 years old, and yet they're going in and just demolishing them. Now, I can understand the house has been burnt down, like the one down the block, where it's gutted out. But even that house is a brick house. I'm sure that they could go fix it up. And Diaz mentions, I don't understand why it costs $17,000 per house to demolish. They could take that money and refab that house.
Right.
There's so many homeless people, that I don't understand why they don't just, good morning. Oh, that's you. I don't understand.
Homeless people to work.
Yeah, I mean, again, once again.
And work, and like talking about, we'll work for something, we'll work for housing. Right?
Hell yeah, get them up there cracking beer.
Well, who knows why they're doing it, but it's the mayor's plan. It's a 555 plan, but I think they've already demolished. They went past 5. It's supposed to be 5 houses per month or some crap that he's got some number.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid.
Rickard's got to go.
And I agree with you as well. Who was the guy that just said? They probably figure by removing blight, they will raise property values and collect more off the new assessment. Maybe true.
Very true, yeah.
But
Thank
how
you,
much
Factor
is your
52.
property going to go up when you have an empty lot next to you?
Yes, that's a good question.
I mean, wouldn't it be better to have a house that's refab next to you than an empty lot?
Yeah.
And you know what they do with those empty lots? They fill them with garbage. People just throw their garbage in there.
Yeah.
So, I don't get it. Good morning, Edward Mampa. Good to have you on board. Man, why don't you go down to Roslyn since we have so many guests on?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Good morning, City Bum, Diaz Photo Guy, Edward Mampa, The Matinee, Factor 52, thanks for your post. Also, Fancy Fanny, Greek Fire, and Vape VS Cards.
Right, or vape versus cards. I like
vapes
that.
versus cards.
The whole neighborhood values go up when an empty lot gets a new house. Exactly.
Yes.
But the problem is, it's not going to get a new house. They're going to have to sell that property first. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe it's cheaper for them to just demolish it, of course,
Sell the property where somebody else
$17,000,
built it.
and sell, the property. And since it's already tapped into the sewers, all they have to do, I guess, is just plug in a house.
Right.
Who the hell knows? And good morning, Factor 52. Good to have you on board as well. We're talking about, once again, the pool. Do you have that about the pools?
Wait, I gotta say, yeah, Edward, the company from Canada is buying the Crown Plaza. What is it now?
Oh,
yeah. That's what he's talking about. The
Nick
company,
Romano, yeah.
Some Canadian company is buying. What's it called? It was called the Crown Plaza. And
It was
what's it now?
Crown Plaza, the Renaissance, I think it is.
Radisson.
The Radisson.
Radisson.
The
okay.
Radisson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the largest hotels in Macon. I mean, tallest at least. And it's been sitting there for about 10 years.
Yeah, at least.
About 10 years empty. I mean, there's this beautiful hotel with a beautiful lobby and just incredible. And they shut it down because there was no business. But now they're making this coming up slowly as a snail, but it's coming up. they're now going to purchase that hotel, right, Ed?
Yep.
They still haven't finalized that for $3 million. Guess what it's going to cost to replace the boiler? That was the problem.
It's going to be called the Park Inn.
The park. Oh, great! I didn't even know that. Guess what it's going to cost to replace that boiler? $7 million.
Whoa.
So it's already a $10 million investment. So that's good news for Macon, because if you come here, there are times where you would say, I wouldn't invest $10 million in this city if I had $100 billion. But finally, we're getting a hotel open. Hopefully, that'll be a great place for people to come and visit. And
Yes.
and now we have the pool situation. Why don't you read that story?
Yeah, definitely. The opening of Bibb County public pools delayed. It's only getting hotter here in middle Georgia, but people in Bibb County aren't able to take a dip in the public pools just yet. Mechanical delays and staff shortages top the list of problems hindering Macon-Bibb County Parks and Recreation. But Macon-Bibb County Parks and Recreation workers are trying to change that. It started with Memorial Park, but Director Dale Daugherty says his office is facing more than the usual mechanical issues. He says that we're short on number of lifeguards, that we need to get several of the posts open at this point. Says the pools are facing a slew of issues, from moving pumps and motors to resurfacing, problems that keep swimmers from jumping in. Macon City's pools and other recreation functions were handed over to the Bibb County government this year in a precursor to consolidated government. And while it's taking longer to open, the commissioners are focusing on the future. Says money for any renovations would have to come from SPLOST funds. While Parks and Rec are trying to fix the problems, Daugherty says the lack of investment over the years into the pool facilities has finally caught up. Says when you're looking at mechanical, you're talking about pumps and motors, things that cost thousands of dollars. Beyond just leaks here and there, it's a real hindrance in getting the pools open. And that's really kind of sad. Matter of fact, when I was at the Human Resources at the Bibb County Courthouse for jobs, I think that was one of the jobs they were looking, opening jobs they were looking for were lifeguards for the pools. And I guess I don't know whether or not if they were able to hire lifeguards or something because of the bad conditions of the pools. That may be one problem, because who wants to be a lifeguard of a dirty pool?
Well, you talk about they just talked about the having fecal matter in pools not too long ago.
Yeah, E. coli.
E. coli. So I think it's better that they make sure that these things are clean and slow down, baby, because we don't need any more diseases going around like the one that's just started in Europe and in the Middle East. Anyway, the news about Vorp, it seems like Vorp has been...
yeah, he insulted the owner of...
The owner.
Yeah, called him a pedophile and some other things. So we won't talk about that. We got on with our own show.
Well,
we got nothing to do with that.
This is what they have coming to you when you're messing around.
Rules.
By the way, even now, like there's a guy, we could bring the story up later, who tweeted that he was going to kill the president, and he's now under arrest. I mean, people don't realize that freedom of speech doesn't include threats on the internet, because that's known as cyberbullying, and even worse, cyber threat. And so, this is a new medium. I mean, not that new, but it's really a new medium.
Right.
Comparing to television. And they don't just let people get on television and rant and rave.
That's true. That's very true.
You know what I mean? And so, and even a lot of these hate places that they had, like on cable, they had some Aryan stuff. That's all gone. You don't hear about that anymore. Those people were either shut down or arrested.
That's true. Speaking of people who were stalked recently, even Tommy Sotomayor from Your World, My Views .net, he was receiving a lot of cyber threats recently. Especially, there was a guy, I don't know what his name was, something Wood, something whatever, Voodoo or something. He basically had a video of him of himself with a gun to my, I'm gonna shoot you and your kid, is like, that's some cold-blooded stuff. I mean, there's one thing to hate somebody, but man, you're gonna threaten him and his child, his daughter, 7-year-old daughter. That's just cold-blooded. This is straight cold-blooded.
Some people just don't think rationally these days.
Well, what about recently? There was this school teacher who was elected. He was one of the heads of the school. It was all over Anderson 360. You may have seen that, where he was saying about gays, they ought to die from AIDS and all that. And he had to resign because he was saying, like, they ought to commit suicide. I would, because they asked him to wear purple to honor the 5 kids who committed suicide who were gay and being bullied. And you just cannot play anymore. This is one of the reasons why, I was concerned about all the mayhem that was going on here earlier when we started our show, that we were probably touching on very, very thin ice.
Right.
With some of the rhetoric that came out of here, which is why I'm glad that it's over. In some way. Although I miss having him here, I also see that it probably could have had us be put in a situation kind of like, where Vorp is now and some others.
I see.
And anyway, what else is in the news?
Oh, yes. The DNR proposes creating new law enforcement division. This is in Gainesville, Georgia. The Georgia Department of Natural Resources is proposing to create a new law enforcement division, separating it from its Wildlife Resources Division. DNR Deputy Commissioner Homer Bryson said the move is aimed at reorganizing the department's personnel to eliminate duplication and become more efficient. The board is expected to consider the plan during its June 25th meeting at Georgia Southern University in Statesboro. The Times of Gainesville reports that the public has a chance to comment on the proposed change, including a public hearing set for Tuesday at DNR offices in Atlanta and through verbal and written means by June 18th. If approved, the proposal will take effect July 1st, but be phased in over 5 years.
Wow. Okay. Well, once again, we got stuff that's going on that's going to have an effect later on in our area, right?
Yeah. It was Gainesville, South Georgia, so it was like about 2-3 hours worth.
Yeah, about 3 hours north.
3 hours south, excuse me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because that's Statesboro.
Well, I remember the signs in Gainesville, or for Gainesville up in the north.
Okay.
Anyway, what do I know? I'm from Brooklyn, New York, guys. So.
Well, I'm from Connecticut.
Yeah. Nice state, by the way.
Yes.
Anyway,
I'm a real Yank.
There's Macon Bibb County. They're talking about, once again, they just hired new lawyers. I'm trying to find the story. It's somewhere in here. They just hired the Republican Party here in Macon, which is not very strong, by the way. It's kind of funny because if you go to Gwinnett County, and most of the state of Georgia is a very Republican state.
Yes.
It's what they call a red state.
Yeah.
But yet, Macon is Democratic.
Very Democratic.
They act Republican somewhat, but it is very Democratic. But the Republican Party is now taking up the issue of consolidation. They just hired a new lawyer who's very good on consolidation laws and how they're supposed to be proposed. And they just hired that lawyer to fight the case about making consolidation a part of Macon Bibb. One of the things that Nikki Randall, who is the representative for Macon, Georgia, she's one of the senators here. I think she's a senator, right? Yeah, she's a senator. She's saying that the people spoke, which I agree. We did vote it in, whether it was bogus voting or whatever. Right. The people spoke. And they said they want consolidation. And the only good news that would come out of this consolidation, that if in fact it doesn't occur, is that it would null and void Mayor Ricketts' ability to run. He will not be able to run if in fact this happens. So I bet you Mayor Ricketts right now is sweating bullets, hoping that this consolidation will happen.
Hey,
Because
he
if it
sweats
doesn't,
bullets every time he sees you walk in.
I know. That's true. That is true.
So does Joe Allen.
God,
Not
that was
bullets.
such a great
Not
meeting.
bullets, he's sweating grenades.
Yeah. Well, what was so funny was the time that Anthony and I went there to see him, and they were only supposed to give us 15 minutes. They wound up giving us almost an hour. How animated he was! I mean, he was getting up out of his chair, and then he asked me to get up so he can do a demonstration, and it was just wacky. I'm sitting there going, well, I'm standing there going, I can't believe this is happening. This is the mayor of Macon, Georgia, and he's just bouncing around off his chair and all that. It's a good meeting overall.
Very good meeting.
But I'm not voting for him, so I don't get it. Anyway, what else is in the news? Do we have something else?
Yes, at least something a nice change of pace, something good stuff. Museum turns everyday sounds into music.
Good.
It says schools out and parents may be looking for a day trip destination for your kids. Then the Museum of Arts and Sciences in Macon offers a traveling wild music exhibit.
Wow.
Ivia Rollins, WMAZ's junior journalist, and got to hear the sounds and songs of live firsthand. It's all interesting, says Elizabeth Dunn. Says museum marketing director Melanie Bias says every station is very, very engaging. It's hands-on. Says this interactive exhibit offers music from 3 different environments, from underwater to the forest edge to the city square, but only for a limited time. They even have a recording studio. Bias says you can create your own drums and animal sounds and walk away with a recorded piece of your own creativity.
That's cool.
Yes, they even have a theater dedicated to the power of sound with different kinds of sounds and music from all around the world.
That may be the answer to us, Ed. We go and we create some music, and then we can put it on the opening so we don't get banned.
I said the other day,
No.
if I had my recording studio with my keyboard and all that crap, I could.
Yeah, we can make our own sounds.
Dunn says that she's...
Remember, I'm a musician.
Yeah.
Dunn says she's going to take her grandson to the exhibit. Says it'll stimulate his interest listening to birds, water, and the different noises nature makes. The Wild Music exhibit is designed for English and Spanish-speaking visitors and those who are visually impaired. Says you can come away with an impression and a knowledge that you didn't really have before, says Bias. The Wild Music exhibit will be on display at the Museum of Arts and Sciences until September. Kids 3 and under get into the museum for free. Admission is for $5 for children over 3, and adult admission is $10. So definitely check it out if you ever get a chance to come to Macon. Go to the Museum of Arts
And this is perfect because Macon is a music. You know, it used to be the Southern rock music capital of the world. Correct?
Yes.
I got that right?
No doubt about it.
And instead of selling this this Cherry Blossom Festival, which really came about as kind of an idea to try to save the city, and they.
It was like around 82, 83. This was like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Which is really, I mean, I love the Cherry Blossom Festival, but that's really like for old people. Like these old people with white hair walking around all day, and you got people in from Japan and all that. And yet Macon has produced some of the greatest stars, from Otis Redding to Little Richard to
Jason Aldean, as far as like new stuff, and Greg Allman and the Allman Brothers Band.
And this guy that was in the hospital recently, this country music singer, very famous. He was over at the medical center.
Yeah.
Well, I'll come up with the name later, but you guys will know him. And you know, this is the place of music, and everything that we have to do, everything that we had to do at one time in Macon was about music. It was not about Cherry Blossom.
Right.
And music goes back to when? I mean, literally since almost the inception. Because you have bluegrass here. A lot of the indie music has been coming out of here. We got a lot of potential in Macon for just the music industry. And now that the movie 42 was made here in Macon, and some other movies that were made here in Macon, the other one with Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah, Trouble with the Curve.
Yeah, Trouble with the Curve.
And this recently, The Need for Speed from last month.
Yeah, and so I think that those are the areas they should be focusing on instead of just Cherry Blossom. There's got to be other reasons why people come to Macon.
George Jones, that's what you were talking about? Donnie
Yes,
Curry.
that's him.
Yeah, Donnie Curtis. Yeah, George Jones. Yeah, he was here recently. Well, before he passed away, of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I'm glad that they're taking on, once again, they're taking on the music, they're taking it serious. And you have talked in front of the city council regarding movies, right?
Right.
Tell them a little bit about that.
Well, I was just basically saying that that we've had like 3 movies within the last 12 months. Last 12 months to get to be filmed here, which is great. The state of Georgia has earned over $3 billion, $3.1 billion in the past 12 months.
Yeah.
It's third in far as like getting film productions, just behind New York and California, and we appreciate it very much. The thing is, being a filmmaker and an actor myself, I wanted to find a way if we can get a studio built here, at least in Macon. Or at least somewhere in the vicinity. I was thinking maybe the old Brown and Williamson building, because the people who used to work there, they're no longer. I mean, the building is pretty much abandoned as well. I mean,
And it's huge.
it's huge, very huge. I mean, the people who used to work there, they now work over at, I think, maybe somewhere in Tennessee or or North or South Carolina, one of the 2 Carolinas. And the thing that I was thinking, like, it would be really, really great to have a studio here, because there's so many people, so many talented people in the film industry here in Macon alone. I mean, as far as not just actors, but you also have directors and writers and stunt people and costume designers and set designers and makeup
And the list
artists.
goes on,
Yeah,
baby.
the list goes on. I mean, instead of having them commute to Atlanta or commute to Savannah or commute to the Carolinas or even Miami, and in order to the point where they may end up virtually moving there, we can have a film studio here, be able to groom and grow our talent here, and have our studios and films built here instead of commuting to all these other cities and states, out of town, out of state. Whereas we won't have to worry with that type of revenue coming in. We won't have to worry about our population dwindling. We will be able to have our population to grow, which means our talent to grow and stay here, stateside, cityside, which means our population will grow instead of dwindle.
And
Because it's been dwindling for the last decade.
well, but it's dwindling because a lot of these old people are dying out.
Well, that's
literally. And by the way, City Bum. Yes, I know the director of the Macon Chamber of Commerce. And I had talked to him about coming on the show, and I thank you for bringing that up, because I need to follow up with that ASAP, and we'll have him on the show. Thanks for reminding me of that. Let's read what the chatters are saying. Macon isn't democratic until recreational weed is legalized, at least medical okay. That's a bit of a stretch, but closer than your opinion. Well, look, you've got a lot of issues concerning legalizing marijuana. Okay, now I believe the state of Colorado is now going to tax marijuana. And I'm hoping that people will look at that, because that was one of the things that I threw out there, that I said while I was running for Bibb County, actually state senator, and then Bibb County, I mentioned it, that if you legalize marijuana, then you'll be able to tax it, and that's just going to bring in more revenue. And if nothing else, look, you're not going to get really rid of it. It's not going to happen.
I think they're making more money on busting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a money thing.
Well, yeah. Just like you said, it makes they probably will make more money keeping it illegal than having it legalized and making it taxable. That's definitely the point. That's the only reason why, because they make more money keeping it illegal.
Yeah. Well, Donnie Curry says, Macon is also great for historical facts, so historians have no reason to go there. That's not true. I mean, maybe you're right. They don't have the desire to come here because they know the history, but history is being made now in Macon. I mean, the fact that we even have the government changing over to consolidation in itself is making history. Because this place has been so entrenched with its governments, 2 of them, really, literally, that's what it is. You have double government here. And that's the reason why this place has not grown, because you have divided government. And that would give a good reason for people to come here. Also, Macon was the capital of Georgia at one time.
No,
before it
actually,
went to
that was Milledgeville. That was Milledgeville.
well, Milledgeville, middle Georgia,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And it went from there to Savannah.
Yeah.
Correct? And then now it's Atlanta.
Right.
So
Just before the Civil War.
but wasn't the city hall wasn't that used as the Capitol building?
No, I don't think so. Not the one here.
They have this big thing out there that said it. No,
I guess maybe when Atlanta burnt down, perhaps. but,
I think that's where they signed the truce.
Yeah,
Isn't that where they had signed the truce? Something happened in
Civil War-
Macon.
Yeah, well, there was some battles here in Macon, but I don't think they signed a truce because the Civil War, as far as a truce, I don't. You mean like the surrender? Because they surrendered. Because I know General Lee surrendered to General Grant in Appomattox County, Virginia, April 9, 1865. You know, basically making the official end of the Civil War, which was exactly 5 days after Lincoln was assassinated.
By the way, let's go to the chat. Saibuki says weed is illegal now. You legalize it, and illegal sales will just undercut the legal suppliers. Abnormal says marijuana is taxed almost 100%, along with the processing and selling path. Okay.
Wow.
City Bum says Washington State is taxing recreational pot, estimated $500 million a year. Wow, that's a lot of money. And the tax will go towards public programs and fighting the drug programs. Also save the bogus spending on housing pot criminals. Billions saved.
Wow, that is.
I mean, I think it's a good way to go. Look, honestly, liquor is a hell of a lot worse than smoking weed.
Yeah, because ain't nobody died from smoking weed, as far as we know.
Exactly. Well, yeah. And they say that you can't drive, and being impaired under weed. Listen, I never had a problem driving with weed. I had a problem driving when I was drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we all?
Yes.
Well,
Well, some of us are
thank
professionals.
God I never got a DUI. Some of us what?
Yeah. Edward Mompa says,
Some of us are good at it. We're trained, but-
Edward Mompa says, take the actors and let them recreate history. Well, actually, they do. During Halloween last year, they had this thing, I think, the Riverside Cemetery.
Oh, yes.
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 Yeah,
Actually, Edward, they do have that.
Mm-hmm.
Where they stand, I swear to you, this is so true. They stand at the gravesite of that person.
Yes.
And then they have the person acting out what that person
Did
was
in their
like.
life. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, they had someone dressed up as Jackie Robinson last year when 42 was being filmed, and like a few months later and it's usually around this October, during Halloween. So basically, you're kind of have a scary feeling because you're at a graveyard, but yet it's scary, but yet it's somewhat informative at the same time.
I thought it was
You know.
cool, man.
Remember that letter I had that we read?
Yeah.
Okay, that from 1970. I'm posting a link now from my Dropbox, and anybody wants to look at it. That was from Tommy Machine Gun Thompson, way back in 1970.
Yeah, Ronnie
when-
Thompson,
When
yeah.
they were going to desegregate the schools. So anybody wants to read that letter, very, very interesting how things used to be many years ago.
Okay.
for me.
It was really, really bad. That's why. Because I remember when he was no longer the mayor and had Bulk Milton took over, and then Ronnie Thompson decided to run for mayor again, and he was going against George Israel. And back then, Ronnie Thompson was running on the Democratic ticket. George Israel was a Republican. And I think that's the only time that I know of where my dad actually voted for Republican, because there was like no way he was going to let that segregationist Ronnie Thompson come in there, because he was telling us some horror stories about putting them N-words in a slab, that type of stuff.
Well, by the way, 100 years ago, people were picnicking graveyards. Absolutely. Actually, they were designed for that. You used to go to the graveyards in Brooklyn. They have the Greenwood Cemetery, one of the most beautiful, incredible places to go to. They built the bridges there. They had benches. They had all sorts of stuff there, and that's what you would do. You would go to the graveyards, and you would have picnics there and family gatherings around the gravesite. And then I think it was during the 30s when Frankenstein started coming out, and the Wolfman, and all these things, that they kind of made the cemetery a eerie place to go to. But at one time, it was a place to go. I mean, city parks were not as prevalent at that time. A lot of private land. So You know, and by the way, Donnie, you're right. Little Richard was born in Macon, and he was run out of Macon, which is why it took him so long to come back. And Otis Redding died in Macon. Well, did he die in Macon?
Well, he didn't die in Macon. He died in somewhere up north
While
he was
while
on a
he was
plane.
living in Macon.
He was living in Macon.
Right, during
He was
that
born in
time.
Dawson.
Yeah, I think he was on a tour or something, wasn't he? You want to understand? I don't know.
Yeah, he
Whatever.
was on tour
It's all history.
because he just finished recording sitting on the dock of the bay. Actually,
Right, and didn't he die in a plane crash?
Yes, he died
Yeah,
in
he
a
died
plane
in a
crash.
plane
Yes.
crash.
Yeah, from leaving a tour, leaving a concert or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
He went the same way as Richie Valens.
Richard Valens and Big Bopper and Buddy Holly. Yeah.
yeah, Greenwood was more popular picnic, I guess Earl is from New York, than Central Park at one time. That is so true. And if you've ever been there, I used to live, Edward Mamper can attest to this, he's my brother. We used to live right down the block from Greenwood Cemetery. It was gorgeous, beautiful. But the outskirts of it, during the time that I lived there, was starting to get, beat up. They were turning over the graves and stones and all that. But that's all changed now. Now they have that more gated up than they used to.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how in the world, how did it become, a graveyard became a place from having a picnic there to just plain, people just being taboo.
Well, that's the thing. It was during the 30s, I believe it was mentioned. It was during the 30s when they started to create these monster movies that were very popular at that time. The Frankenstein, the Vampire, Dracula, all that.
The Mummy.
Bela
Wolfman,
Lugosi,
yeah.
the horror flicks. That's when it started changing the dynamic of you don't go to cemeteries. But like everyone has said here and agrees, you used to party. Rocco says, so they party in graveyards in the Big Apple?
Well, we partied with Dwayne Allman and Barry Oakley, Dwayne Barry Oakley, all the time out at Roseville.
Yeah.
We used to make picnics and go party and all that with them.
Yeah. Donnie Curry says he died in Mason, Wisconsin. I guess Wisconsin. Yes. He died over it, I guess.
Yeah,
And
the plane crash.
Yeah. Or actually, no, he would have died on it. If the plane crashed, it would have hit the ground, right? And so, anyway. Saibuki, we always have avoided graveyards in the UK, but then we have always had a lot of common land that access is not restricted to.
And Rocco says, you guys want to see a party? I visited Jim Morrison's grave in Paris, 24/7 party.
Wow.
Wow.
I was at the Allman Brothers gravesite they have here. One of
Really?
them.
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking about that. We used to party there, have picnics all the time. Yeah.
So why was that? Because they're worried about, because the people already there is not going to be complaining? That's the reason why people used to go to...
You know why they got a fence around that damn thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Because people are dying to get in.
Yeah.
Boom.
Anyway, I love these corny jokes in the morning. They just
They're not
go.
corny.
They go over so well. By the way, they did cover it up. One day I was there with Lisa Lilford, and we went to the place where they have the Allman Brothers, standing there at what they call a mausoleum. If you ever see that album, one of their first albums, what's the name of that album? You remember? I'm making facts.
I want to say Rambling Man, but let me check that.
Yeah.
Let me
Well,
look
anyway, we were there, and then we went over to the Allman. Not Greg, the other guy,
Dwayne.
Dwayne Allman, and his partner who died
Dwayne Barry Oakley.
Yeah, and Oakley and Allman, and they have their graves together, right? And it's now fenced in. So we went there and we find this rabbit there, like a little bunny rabbit.
Right.
And Lisa said, oh, we ought to take it. Oh, this poor bunny's going to die out here. I'm like, it's not going to die. It's eating the grass. I mean, if nothing else, this bunny is in heaven right now, right?
Yeah.
Well, it just so happens that bunny belonged to Mason, who is related to Red Dog, who was one of the biggest fans that the Allman Brothers had, and they decided to put it near that gravesite to kind of be the pet for that gravesite.
Wow.
Just a little bit of
I think they had Idlewild South is one of their big hits. The Allman Brothers Band, I think they had their self-titled album as their first album back in 1969, and I think one of their biggest albums, I think, was 1973. They reached the peak commercial success back in '73, which was 40 years ago, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
This year, 40 years ago this year, with the album Brothers and Sisters, because they had their hit single Ramblin' Man. And that's like big rock and roll classic hit they always play on 97 FM.
Which one? Ramblin' Man?
Yeah, Ramblin' Man.
And let me tell you, that song is completely not dated. You're gonna sing that song like you would sing the national anthem. So help me God, that is one of the greatest songs. I mean, you just can't help but sing it every time it's played.
Well, yeah, it's a very nice up tempo beat. I mean, you can't beat classic rock sometimes.
Yeah.
There's something about that. That's the reason why not just Allman Brothers, but groups like the Beatles and Rolling Stones, and even a whole lot of other, even Motown artists have that timeless longevity, because their songs it was written at a time where it was, whether you actually felt that way, if you were that cheerful, or if you were just trying to find some escapism for that time through the radio, because there wasn't, you didn't have the internet back then, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Well,
basically, the radio outside of movie theaters was the only way you could have a form of escapism,
Right. And
Outside of
Capricorn
drugs and
Records,
liquor.
actually, what's his name? Walton. And by the way, Mr. Walton is, I would consider him a good friend of mine, who is the owner and also the manager, I guess, of Otis Redding and all these guys. Great guy. His daughter also is very, very much involved in making their museum. They're going to make a museum out of Capricorn Records.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. And that's what's in the works. And the thing that and there's going to be a studio there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my cousin Monica. Monica, if they do make Capricorn Records a museum, I think you may want to fill in your application there. She studies at Mercer right now, and she's she's going to be graduating next year. She's going to be a senior over at Mercer, and I guess she wants to know more about. She wants to be a curator for a museum. So I think Capricorn Records will be a very good place to start.
Yeah, Rocco, you're absolutely right. This guy, he's an awesome guy. Mr. Walton.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I always call him Mr. Walton. I mean, we hug like brothers. That's how he says hello. I mean, he comes up to you and gives you a hug. He's a good guy. And his grandson is awesome, and he looks just like a young Greg Allman. It's amazing. He's got the long hair, blonde, the same thing. And, is that right, Rocco? He picked up a friend of mine while he was hitchhiking. That is cool.
Very cool.
His whole family, his daughter is got some programs here, and she's a big supporter of Macon and what's happening in Macon. And the good news is that she's not like an ass kisser. I mean, she will tell you if she thinks what's going on is wrong. And so is Otis Redding's sister. Is it his sister? No.
Oh,
his daughter. I'm sorry. Otis Redding's daughter is also a good friend of mine.
Dee Dee Redding?
Yeah, Dee Dee Redding. When we did
I used to work with her, by the way.
Yeah.
At Fox 24.
And I worked with them when they had the 70th birthday anniversary. I was the guy giving out the fans, and they have these fans that you fan yourself with. And, of course, the mayor and the commissioner were there, and there was a whole event, party, so to speak, in downtown Macon, of which I volunteered, and I was working very, very closely with her. Great times here in Macon. Anyway, what else is in the news? Let me see.
Let's see. Well, I heard that Danny Glover drops out of Macon Bib commissioner race.
Uh-huh.
That was
Macon politics. I made mention of this earlier, but if this consolidation does not go through, it will null and void Mayor Ricketts' ability to run.
Yeah, because you can't three-peat.
Because you can't three-peat here.
Right.
Exactly. So why don't you read that?
Yes, Danny Glover, candidate Danny Glover has announced he will drop out of the District 3 Macon-Bibb Commission race to focus on personal matters, quote unquote. Glover entered the race to run against Elaine Lucas and Terry Tripp. Glover has endorsed Tripp following his announcement. This announcement comes after Glover faces a misdemeanor charge in Jones County involving marijuana. Glover posted the following announcement on his Facebook page Tuesday morning. It is with a heavy heart that I announce my intent to withdraw my candidacy from the District 3 Macon-Bibb Commission race. My commitment and sincere desire to improve the quality of life for all the citizens in our community has never been stronger. However, at this time, I must focus my attention on some personal matters. I wish to thank those who have supported my campaign and apologize to them for this unexpected announcement. While this is not the best time for me to focus on a campaign, I trust that those who have supported me in this race will also support my decision.
Well, and I support his decision, of course. It was too much of a distraction. And while they were filming Need for Speed, right?
Yes.
I was there while they were doing the filming on Magnolia. So the cars running up and down. They had these speed bumps that the cars were going over and flipping out. And he comes around with his signs, and he looked completely discouraged and wasted. He was handing out signs. No, I don't think people were pissed off that he has the other Danny Glover's name. Actually, his father was in making politics, and his grandfather was in somehow in making politics as well.
Yeah.
I think I know what happened was that marijuana charge completely threw him completely off.
Completely derailed his.
You're talking about a very conservative city, despite itself. You know, I call it arrogant conservative here, but it is very conservative. And the fact that a politician would be cited for that, plus he was driving without insurance, expired insurance, so he had a two-peat or a double whammy.
Yeah, double whammy. Yeah.
And the stupid thing that he did was, and I will say this in public, that he stopped off at some parking lot to a small mall up in Jones County. And you don't play in Jones County. You think Macon is bad, the police here. In Jones County, they're like as tough as hell. And obviously, like anything else, like they caught the DC sniper sleeping. They, you know, you would think that that's not a place for you to go and stop your car and try to rest. That's exactly what happened. They got caught, and then unfortunately, you know, he got busted.
Yes.
And I don't believe, you know, people say, well, was he smoking marijuana? Do you think that he would? No, I've never seen Danny smoking weed. But I do know for a fact that those around him did smoke weed.
Yes.
And especially the person that was in the car with him. There is no doubt about that. And good morning, Shorty Brave. Good to have you here.
Yes.
So,
I guess.
I mean, I feel terrible for him because he's such a nice kid.
Yeah.
You know, I call him a kid. He's only 25 years old. And he is running against the toughest competitor that you can imagine in Macon, Georgia, Elaine Lucas. You don't mess with her. She's been around for like 35 years.
She carries a lot of weight around here.
Yeah, she does. She does.
You're talking about political power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
political power.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Elaine Lucas, you know, for all intents and purposes, she's done a lot for our community, regardless of what people think. She's done a lot for our community, and if nothing else,
Definitely.
I don't know who this Tripp is.
The Terry Tripp.
Yeah, I don't know who this Terry Tripp is. I really don't know who she is. So I don't know if I'm going to even vote for any of them. And they're outside my district anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But anyway.
Is that the doctor? Was she a doctor?
No, she's a teacher.
Oh, okay,
She's a teacher.
Yeah, yeah.
Why don't you read what some of the chat is? Do you think he was envious or pissed off that he was another? No. Let me see. Was that Outcast reference? I don't get it.
Oh yeah, shaking like a Polaroid picture.
No, okay.
Yeah,
That'll be
everybody
on-
asked me to wash my hands. I said no.
Power
I
Radio?
like a Polaroid. That's a song from Outclass.
Yes.
Power Radio says weed sounds good about right now.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Ditto.
Created by God, outlawed by assholes.
Anyway, he had to remember once you do all hugging.
Okay. Well, it's 9:02, brother. I think it's time for
Oh
a
my
break.
God, already?
Yeah.
Jeez. Shoot, you talk about time flying.
Yes.
Anyway,
Time
9:02 in the morning, we're going to go to break. Ed, you got anything queued up, buddy?
Always.
Always.
Well, you know.
I don't have my distraction anymore.
Good.
Okay.
Ed, get this. Ed, play that. Ed, bring this. Ed, play that. Ed, do this. Ed, do that. Ed,
Well,
do this.
Oh my God.
It's 9:03 a.m.
Voice of the past.
It's 70 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia, with a high of 89 and a low of 69. You're watching the Macon Roast live from the Nut House.
The
Can you
Macon-
The
smell
morning roast.
He just changed the name.
the morning roast? Excuse me.
That's how much
Live
Life
in
money.
the-
brain.
Yes. Can you smell what the roast is brewing?
All right, so we're going to go into this first video.
We'll be right back.
It's amazing. All right, we're back.
Okay.
I got something to say, though. That is something else, but he did try to run the cop over.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Rick Sanchez.
Yeah, Rick
CNN.
Sanchez. Mm-hmm.
Years ago, used to be Joe Robbie Stadium down in, Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Left there. Well, now it's Pro Player Stadium. He was drunk off his ass, killed the guy, and got off scot-free.
Is
Rick
that right?
Sanchez.
Rick
He used
Sanchez.
to work for local station down
Right,
there.
right.
Wow.
He got off scot-free. So
Well-
money talks and bullshit walks.
I-
But he all, but it's kind of. I knew it had been like 08 because he lost his job at CNN back in I think not a few years ago, because they were talking about something about the media and he said something that was somewhat anti-Semitic and he lost his job.
Yeah, well,
on
this was
CNN.
before that when he was working at a local station, WTVJ or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, look, if you take a look at the tape, right,
Mm-hmm.
the guy was already knocked out by just what happened to him.
Yeah, just from the
Why
crash.
are they going to go and beat the shit out of him then? I don't get it. I mean, couldn't they just cuff him up and take him in? I think they were just, once again, excessive police abuse, authority abuse. I mean, the guy was already down. You saw the tape. The guy was, flipping out exactly because police rage. They were pissed off. And for the mayor or whomever, the governor, whoever that guy, well, that was the police chief. To try to justify this is ludicrous.
Yeah.
The guy already, you saw it on the tape, the guy was already knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they going to go now and gang up on him and beat him up?
Well, Factor Figure 2 says adrenaline.
Yeah.
But, once it's kind of hard to flip the switch off
Yeah,
and
all
on.
that sugar in them donuts, man.
That's sugar high, baby.
Sugar high.
Well, they were on an adrenaline rush. I can understand they're chasing this guy, and they're all probably cursing him out in their minds, and they're feeling that. But again, if you cannot handle the job that you are entrusted to do, don't do the job. That is the same problem that we have here in Macon with the Macon Police Department. Mm-hmm. They do excessive force here beyond what I think should be done. And I know a lot of the police officers here in Macon, Georgia, and a lot of them are not cool guys. They just don't like people.
Yeah.
And they're already kind of on that.
Macon PD don't make shit. People come to Macon to be a cop. That's their stepping stone to go somewhere else. It's easy to become a cop in Macon.
Right. And they don't make shit. But here's the thing. Once again, they're saying, well, they take the job. And then they say, well, we don't get paid enough. So that's their excuse to take it out on the citizenry? I don't think so. If you cannot do the job, or you don't like the job, or they don't pay you enough, don't take the job.
Right.
Become a
That's it.
bouncer. That way you can beat the shit out of people and get away with it.
Well,
Yeah.
City Bum says, listen, if he shot a cop and missed, like he did with his van, and the cops would have not backed and killed him, he was lucky. That's true. But the fact of the matter is that that didn't happen. They didn't shoot at him. They didn't kill him. But they beat the hell out of the guy once the guy is knocked out. Now, would that have justified for them to go up to that guy while he's knocked out on the floor and shoot him up? I mean, that's a question. Do you think that would have been justified? That the fact that he shot at a cop and then the car turned over, the van, and he was knocked out of the van, would have even been justified for the cops to go up and start to, fill him with lead.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know?
Because 77 says, I can see jumping on him to cuff him, but blasting a man in the face while he's out cold is just wrong.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, it is. I mean, that's not what they're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Edward Mampa says maybe he had to go to the bathroom and the police got in the way.
Good old Edward.
Well, I would have pissed in my pants if the car came over like that. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's 9:15. It's a quarter after 9. You're watching the Morning Roast. This is the second hour, live from the Nut House with Irv and DB right here, and behind the camera
Irv and DB.
with the
Irv and me. Is it Irv and I?
Irv and I, and Ed Einbinder, or aka Megan Skirioka, is behind the camera. It's 9:15. As I just said, it's May 30th. 2013, just one more day till the end of this month. It's 73 degrees, partly cloudy with a high of 89 degrees and a low of 69.
Yeah, it's gorgeous temperature.
Definitely, it's gorgeous.
No,
keep your air conditions set.
Yeah. What's so weird about Megan, the temperatures are beautiful right now and all that. It's kind of like that situation, all dressed up and no place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful weather, but not much to do.
There's a picture of your brother.
Yeah.
He sent me.
Well, my brother takes a walk on beaches. We ain't got a beach. That lake is not a beach.
That's Edward Mampa, everybody.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, Lake Tupasoft.
Anyway, City Bum says the way that that van missed that cop with slow-mo reminded me of Matrix slow-mo bullet scene. There's my brother, dressed like Greg Allman. Looks like him. Anyway.
Hey, I wash my hands though.
By the way, speaking of beaches and water,
yeah.
Do you know they may have found Amelia Earhart's plane?
Wow.
It says grainy sonar image captured off the uninhabited tropical island in the southwestern Pacific Republic of Kiribati. Might represent the remains of the Electra, the two-engine aircraft legendary aviator Amelia Earhart was piloting when she vanished July 2nd, 1937, in a record attempt to fly around the world at the equator. Released by the International Group of Historic Artifacts Recovery, which has long been investigating Earhart's last fateful flight, the images show an anomaly resting in the depth of about 600 feet in the waters of Nukumaroro Island.
Nukumaroro Island.
Woo!
Jesus, my God, no wonder they can't find her.
Why don't you just call Watermelon Island?
Okay.
Anyway, some 350 miles southeast of Earhart's target destination. Sonar images show a strong return from a narrow object roughly 22 feet long, oriented southwest-northeast of the slope near the base of an underwater cliff. Shadows indicate that the object is higher in the southwest downhill side. A lesser return extends northeast about 131 feet. What initially got our attention is that there is no other sonar return like it in the entire body of the data collected. It is surely an anomaly, and when you're looking for man-made objects against a natural background, anomalies are good. Anyway, it'd be nice if they could raise it and finally put an end to that mystery.
Do you think?
What's her name? Earhart or Earnhardt?
Earhart.
Yeah, no relation to Dale Earnhardt. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to be funny.
Good morning, coffee guy. Good to have you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good buddy right there.
You said good morning, Koofy.
Anyway. So, let me see. DS Photo Guy, is Dale Earnhardt's mom? That's a good question.
No.
I don't think she had any kids. I think she was a lesbian.
She's Earhart and he's Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
At
right.
the end,
He's
yeah.
still 2 minutes behind her. You're catching up, though.
By the way, yeah, I think she was a lesbian. I'm serious. She used to hang around with a lot of women at that time. Anyway.
Well, so did James Baldwin, but that doesn't make
Well, James
that
Baldwin.
make him straight.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I gotta say something. He ever put number 3. Well, if y'all look at who's in number 2, I've been watching this guy, and he's got like 4 shots of his living room and his backyard, just playing music, nothing there.
That's
Everybody's
cool.
there, they just chat. How exciting.
Yeah. Anyway, everybody has their taste. Why are you throwing an N in her name? Yeah, maybe because I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I think it was just one of them typo things or something like that.
Anyway, anything else in the news?
Well, Eva Mamba said she was married for a while. So, yeah.
Yeah.
To a
But-
woman or a man?
To a man.
Yeah, that's true. To a woman or a man. By the way, we were speaking about marijuana and legalizing it and taxing it earlier. That woman in Mexico,
From Nogales.
from Nogales, Mexico, inside a Mexican jail, Yanira Maldonado wept. A devout Mormon, the Arizona mother of 7, said Wednesday she's been turning to scripture to survive ever since authorities falsely accused her of smuggling last week. Reading the scriptures, reading the Book of Mormon, praying, fasting, Maldonado told CNN. And all the support that I've received and getting from my family, my husband, my children, everybody out there reaching out to help. A judge weighing whether to set Maldonado free after authorities accused her of drug smuggling and they found 12 pounds of marijuana under her bus seat. Maldonado maintained her innocence Wednesday. I'm a good mom. I love the gospel. I'm LDS. What does that mean?
LDS.
Yeah.
Oh, Latter-day Saints. Yeah.
She's a Latter-day Saint. Whatever.
Scott
And we
Anthony-
work hard to have what we have, she said.
Scott Anthony asked the question.
Yeah. You know, we're not rich, but we're honest, and we always do our best to help other people. The Mexican military officials who arrested Maldonado haven't made their case in court yet. The troops were scheduled to appear Wednesday, but didn't show. I have a feeling they're going to let her go. Because I'll tell you why. That's not much. It could have been that somebody was trying to smuggle it. Somebody else on that bus put it under that seat, sat somewhere else, and she got blamed for it.
Yeah.
Now, earlier, I was saying differently. I was saying, well, you never know. But people try to sneak things in. But I didn't know the fact that it was under her seat and that I'm thinking about it, and it was probably somebody trying to bring it in, you know, and that she just happened to hit the lottery.
The opposite way.
Yeah, in the opposite direction. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was just reading what Scott Anthony said. It says, "Are you guys employed by the ACLU or another entity of the government? You're all active in the NAACP, correct? What is your agenda/platform for this webcast show?"
Expose police corruption and give you the news.
Hey, analyzing funny. Good morning.
The Latter-day Rastafari.
Well, you know, all I'm saying is, this woman, you know what, to bring up the fact that you're a Mormon and you read scripture and all that, okay, good for you. But the fact of the matter is, if you're innocent, you're innocent, and if you have enough faith in the scriptures and you have enough faith in God, you'll be clear. So, I don't know if you should bring that up. I mean, it's okay to bring it up, but a lot of people are not going to accept that and say, well, the fact that you're a Mormon and a Christian makes you honest. That don't fly. And I'm a Christian myself. I just don't like that people use that as kind of a crutch to try to get out of, just tell the truth.
Bad situations.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
it's no different than some guy, like I said, some guy singing a gospel song, Amateur Night at the Apollo, and know he can't sing. Well, if I sing a gospel song, they're not gonna boo me. If they boo me, they're gonna go to hell. No, you should go to hell. Just not be able to
What
sing.
religion is it legal to smoke marijuana?
yeah, well,
Is there a religion that is legal to smoke marijuana? Because it is, I'm converted.
maybe
Well,
Rastafarian.
Rastafarians, yeah. And Rastafarians.
By the way, Scott Anthony, welcome to our show.
Bob Marley.
Irie.
Yeah, why you think Snoop Dogg's is now Snoop Lion now? See?
Scott Anthony, welcome to the show. No, we are not paid by any interest groups or unions, but hell, we'll take a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Why not?
You know anyone who wants to be our sponsor, Scott Anthony?
Yeah, if you do, let us know.
Yes.
We would love to be paid. But of course, we would be, we want to make sure that the people that are paying us are doing it for the right reason.
Yeah, for the
And we're located right here in Macon, Georgia, the armpit of the South.
There you go.
Yes,
The
indeed.
armpit of the South. You got a story?
Yes, I do have a story. Some good news, actually. There was a missing dog found in Atlanta, 500 miles from Indiana, from his Indiana home. It says about this dog, was it a well-meaning trucker or a group of travelers, a sudden urge to head south? Karen and Victor Stevenart will never know what drove their beloved dog, Jasmine, 500 miles from home after she slipped out of her collar in April. But as Atlanta's WSB TV shows, the Terre Haute, Indiana couple were overjoyed to have their dog back. She said, Karen, Steven, in her tearful statement, I didn't think we would see her again. According to the shelter personnel at Fulton County Animal Services, it wasn't blind chance but smart technology that led to the happy reunion earlier this week. A microchip implanted in Jasmine allowed workers at the shelter to find and contact the dog's owners. As dog expert Cesar Millan notes, such microchips are inexpensive and measure about the size of a grain of rice. In addition, they don't cause pets any pain. Yet for lost pets, the microchips are often the difference between returning home or not. In fact, according to PetTravel.com, dozens of countries require pets to be microchipped, even if they're just visiting.
Well, that's cool. I mean, Diaz, you're a dog advocate, lover. You actually volunteer in the shelters. What do you think about that? What do you think about putting in some kind of microchip in a dog?
Or cat, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend putting it on a hamster. They're too small for that.
Yeah. And Scott Anthony is talking to white folk you have had involved in the show are filled with rage and anger. What's up with that? They break too easy. White people with NAACP. What the F is that about? Well, it's freedom of speech. People have a right to say what they need to say, up to a certain extent. And, the bottom line is we want all opinions spoken here, regardless of how stupid they are, or how stupid I think they are. But they have a right to speak. Just no threats, and, nothing that seems to be beyond what the rules of engagement are here on Vaughn Live.
Oh, so you said so you would do a DS to microchip dogs, I guess to keep them from being lost and stuff. So yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Scott Anthony. Once again, I'm going to read his stuff. But why would NAACP care about white people? Because it's no longer just it started out as the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, but it's now more diverse, and they try to make sure that in fact that they cover all bases.
Right.
You know,
I think Coffee Guy was referring to Ed about Macon, Georgia, the armpit of to the south. It says Coffee Guy says, I thought the armpit was Columbia, South Carolina. It says, I just wanted to say that dog won't hunt. Wow. Oh, goodness. The Coffee Guy also says, who is this Scott Anthony character?
Yeah, well, you know what? Look, he's got his opinion. Obviously wants to get on and make a name for himself. I don't care. But anyway.
Yeah.
We have our moderators out there keeping track. You guys decide whether a guy's getting out of line. And by the way, thank you, Shitty Bum.
Yes, thank you. Oh, DS Photo Guy says, I haven't done it with my senior pooch who never strays. I'll chip the next youngster I get. No reason. Yeah, you're right. Because usually when you usually get up in age, when you get past, I guess, or a dog, you get past 8, 9, 10 years old, most older senior dogs, they don't tend to stray as much because like there's nowhere else to to go. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
By
they're
the way,
pretty
in
much
this
sitting their
neighborhood, we
ways.
got this big dog that's like, it looks like a mix of, what do they call it? A German short hair pointer.
Yeah.
And one of those big dogs, what do they call the Marmaduke dogs?
Great Danes.
A Great Dane. It looks like a mix of that dog.
Yeah.
And he's always running around. The nicest dog. He's afraid of people, but he's always around.
Oh, they said near the neck. Well, I think so. I mean, that's usually where people have their collars. So
No,
guess
I think they put it in the belly area, somewhere around
In
here.
the
I
belly?
think. I
Oh.
think. I may be wrong.
Okay.
DS Photo Guy says no reason not to. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, and I think it would be keep track, even if they wanted. You know, let's just put it this way: it would be able to keep tracks of some of the dogs that get lost and then find no home and wind up as roadkill.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be better to put it on.
Yeah, that is true because I've seen like so many hit dogs. It's not even funny. It's just kind of sad, especially when my car was working. You see a lot of roadkills when you walking.
Okay, analyzing funny. That's good. I'm glad you're gonna put that up. I hope that you can give us a link and we'll talk about it. My dog has a chip. Edward says, a dog. She has. How much did you have to pay for that, Edward Mampa? They want a lot of money. So what you do? Do it yourself?
I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I wouldn't recommend it either. I think that's called animal abuse.
Yeah.
Gotta have a professional do it.
Yeah, it's not like you getting a tattoo or a body piercing or something. You need to go to a professional for that one.
Well, anything on sports? Why don't we start on the sports thing? Because I know we got a lot of guys out here.
Oh yeah, coffee guy. Yeah, since I'll go and get into sports. Well, the Chicago Blackhawks, they beat Detroit 2-1 in overtime in Game 7 in the NHL Western Conference. So the Chicago Blackhawks advance into the Stanley Cup Finals, where they're going to face whoever from the Eastern Conference, either the Boston Bruins or the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have a game tonight at 8 o'clock. Not tonight. It's going to be June 1st. It'll be Saturday night. Saturday night, 8 o'clock p.m. on NBC, CBC, I guess the Canadian Broadcasting Channel, and RDS. That's another sports channel. So whoever going to be playing against is going to be either Boston or Penguin. Whoever wins from that season for that particular conference. So that's pretty much what we have, at least for the NHL.
Okay.
For the NBA, let's see. They have, well, of course, the season. There's a game tonight between the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat at 8:30 p.m. tonight at TNT. They're gonna the series is tied 2-2. As you know, the Pacers beat Miami because they were in Indiana. Game 5, which is tonight, is going to be in Miami. So the Miami Heat may have a chance to actually win it, and possibly for Game 6, if they go to a Game 6 or Game 7, they may be able to take Indiana and possibly go get their second championship.
Yeah, Pacers are much tougher than anyone expected, is what Carver guy says. And by the way, he mentioned, I have talked more about hockey in the last several months than I have my entire life. And he gets his hockey updates from you, by the way.
Thanks, Coffee Guy.
Anyway.
Speaking of hockey, the New York Rangers fired their coach John Tortorella.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't do a good job of taking them to
New
the
York,
playoffs.
New York. They're always firing their managers. What the hell? It's such high stakes there.
Yeah,
That's what
high
it is.
standards. Yeah. Because you don't get, you don't go there just to place, just to get the second or third. You trying to get number 1 spot, because that's a ring. You don't get a championship just for showing up. You got to win the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
Same thing like Jim Kelly. I kind of feel bad for him, Jim Kelly, not the black karate dude from Enter the Dragon, the quarterback Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
From Buffalo Bills. I mean, he lost. He went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row.
Well,
and lost
well,
everyone.
Coffee Guy mentions New York is the biggest sports market, and
Yeah.
there's no doubt about that. That's true. You're very high profile in New York. You know, some of these other states, they may be good, L.A. and so on.
Yeah, LA,
but
Los
there's nothing
Angeles.
like New York. That market is very, very, very high stake.
Very high stake.
Yeah.
If not number one, if definitely number one, I think pretty much probably the next two will probably be like Boston, outside of Los Angeles. That is.
Yeah.
I would say probably on that coast would be probably New York, and then maybe Boston.
In Florida?
Boston,
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Maybe Miami as far as like the Dolphins, but the Marlins, they're getting up there. They're gonna because they already got
They
a couple.
suck.
They're already getting up there because at least got a couple of championships. The the Marlins do.
But by the way, going back to the dog chip, Analyzing Funny was kind enough to go on. He said, in dogs and cats, chips are usually inserted below the skin at the back of the neck between the shoulder blades on the dorsal midline.
Right.
Very
right.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to sports.
Yes, going back to sports, as I said, the Miami Heat is going to be playing against the Indiana Pacers for Game 5, and they're going to be in Miami tonight, so they have a chance to actually go for it. As far as the Game 6, I think Game 6 may be in Indiana. I'm not quite sure. I just want to get a check. Yes, Game 5. Yeah, Game 5 is tonight on TNT. It's going to be at Miami. Game 6, June 1st, is going to be 8:30 p.m. In Indiana. And Game 7, if they do go up to Game 7, is going to be on Monday night at 8:30 in Miami. Now the playoffs, the NBA Finals, whoever wins between Miami and Indiana, they're going to go against the San Antonio Spurs, who basically swept the Memphis Grizzlies 4-0. I really wish that Oklahoma Thunder would have made it, would have beat the Grizzlies because all the devastation that they went through with the tornadoes. It would have really been a great motivator, great pick me up, so to speak. But nevertheless, they're going to be playing soon next week. Whoever wins that between Miami and Indiana is going to be a wing dang doodle of a series. The NBA Finals, as I said, will be starting next week on ABC, not on TNT, but on ABC, starting June the 6th. There's a lot of that's all I have for the NBA. As far as other sports, there's other sports like news. Let's see. There's going to be some brand new. Yahoo started the new season for Fantasy Football 13, 2013. There's also a player from a small Kansas school who just came out, actually. It didn't take Jason, according to this story by Eric Olson, it says it didn't take Jason Collins for Jalen Messersmith to come out as gay. Messersmith is a 6'7" shot blocking specialist from a tiny Benedictine college in Atchison, Kansas. He is also believed to be the first openly gay active player in the U.S. in U.S. men's college basketball. Messersmith told Associated Press yesterday that he revealed his sexual orientation to his coach last summer and his teammates before the season. He later told his story to Outsports.com, a website that covers gay issues in sports, and its story was posted Tuesday, a month after Collins of Washington Wizards reserve came out in a Sports Illustrated article as the first openly gay active player in the NBA. He says it says it wasn't a buffer for me, Mr. Smith said, adding that just about everyone at 2000 student Benedictine knew his sexual orientation months ago. He hasn't corresponded with Collins, though. He says it's awesome to have another person in my sport to come out nationally beforehand. So I guess it would be less stress on him as far as playing.
Well, speaking of sports matters here, because this story continues to revolve around what happened with that, I believe it was college football, Joe Paterno. The family is now suing.
Right.
The CA, is it?
Yeah, the NCAA, National Collegiate
Yeah, the
Athletic Association. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Joe Paterno led the Penn State Nittany Lions for 46 seasons. In the process, became the winningest coach in college football history. Then came the child molestation scandal involving his former defensive coordinator, Jerry Sandusky, and he alleged Paterno played a role in concealing it. The NCAA vacated 111 of his wins over a 14-year period, and fined the school $60 million, reduced scholarships, and banned it from bowl games for 4 years. And Paterno died last year. His ironic reputation in tatters. But come Thursday, his relatives will file a lawsuit to see that his legacy doesn't end that way. The lawsuit to be filed by the Paterno family, several members of the Penn State Board of Trustees, faculty, former players, and coaches, takes to task the NCAA and a report by FBI Director Louis Freeh, whom the sports body hired to conduct an independent investigation of Penn State's handling of the scandal. The report, on which the NCAA relied for its actions, is fundamentally wrong, incomplete, and inaccurate. A release from the parties filing the lawsuit said the consent decree with Penn State has hastily imposed the university, completely disregarding the rights of the affected party. The suit is the second filed against the college sports governing body. So that story still continues. Here's the thing. I think it was a little bit over the top.
Right.
And, it's funny what happened to
Joe Paterno.
Yeah, Joe Paterno. He died. I think he died of a broken heart.
Yeah, a broken heart, and plus, not to mention being out of work. And, yeah, I think the coffee guy definitely said, I think this ultimately killed Paterno in a way. Yeah, that's true. Because he said, he even said, I think once in an interview, that he doesn't even want to die, that he doesn't even want to retire. That's the reason why he kept playing football, coaching football, because, not necessarily to beat Edward Robinson's record, by the way, but I think that's the reason why he wanted to play, because he doesn't know anything else. Like Coffee Guy said, he coached his entire life as a player and as a coach for Penn State. That was part of his life for the last 6 decades of his life.
Yeah, they took down his statue, and they did all this. Look, you're not going to be able to get rid of the history that was there. And I think, them firing him was enough. They didn't have to go and do everything else. This is almost like that video that we saw where the guy rolled and the cops didn't go in and beat him up. It was excessive force, I think.
Yes.
And why should the college be, humiliated that way? I'm sure that some people didn't know that Sandusky was going in the bathroom and masturbating over these guys while they were showering.
Well, they weren't guys; they were little teenage boys.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, they were young men.
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm just saying, and Sandusky is in jail, as he should be. Mm-hmm. And Paterno was fired maybe as he should have been, because the buck did stop with him, irregardless.
Exactly. Yeah, irregardless.
But I think that, taking the statue down and doing all that to try to erase the memory of this mayhem is ridiculous.
Yes, yeah. I have to agree to you. I think, granted, I knew he probably wanted to retire, but think about it. When you're up in age like he was 85 years old, right, at the time.
Yeah.
And usually when you do something, when you've been working that long, when you just stop altogether, that's pretty much the only thing that keeps you going, that thing that keeps you getting out, to give you a reason to get out of bed. And once that's taken away, you have no other reason left to live for. It's just, you just drop dead.
Sandusky was a guy who was obviously sick and crazy, is what a coffee guy said.
Yeah.
And...
granted, I'm quite sure if Joe Paterno felt like there was nothing else for him to do, after he got the record from Eddie Robinson, who was those who don't know, he was the coach. Yeah. He was the college coach of Grambling University. That's a historical black college. Who the great quarterback Doug Williams played there, who later on to play in the NFL in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and also in Super Bowl 22 for the Washington Redskins when he went against Denver Broncos, and he became the first African American quarterback to go to the Super Bowl and actually win there.
Wow. Sergio St. James says, I knew the family of the Sandusky's here in North Carolina.
Wow.
And they used to wear their names on their shirts until the bullshit at Penn State happened.
I'm sure they. I'm sure they took it off. But
Yeah.
I'm quite sure. But I mean, granted, I know he didn't want to. I mean, Joe Paterno, he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave at all because he knew that was, once that goes, he's gonna, he was gonna pass away, in a few, which he did in a few months. But I guess under different circumstances, if he had to retire or be terminated, I think it would probably be under a different transitional.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
probably not in this particular situation. I mean,
Coffee Guy says it best. He says, keep in mind, if Paterno was not held accountable, they would have had a huge uproar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's funny because they had an uproar anyway.
Yeah,
because
because not only he's the coach, he's the
damned if you do or damned if you don't.
He's the because not only he was the coach, he was the athletic director of Penn State. So basically, everything, not just football, but anything just basically sports related, went through him. I mean, football, basketball, baseball, track, gymnastics, polo.
Yeah,
whatever.
I think he was unaware, as Coffee Guy says, not making an excuse for him. You're right. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think that what they did in removing his statue and doing all that, was he still alive when they did that?
Yeah.
That must have really, tore right through him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, could you imagine dying with that on your mind, all that guilt? And then, of course, it starts to play on your mind. Maybe he was a Christian man, and he probably freaked out. Oh, I'm going to go to hell over this.
Yeah, I mean that
was
was
a very bad way to go out.
Yeah, I think Coffee Guy says keep in mind if Paterno was not held accountable, there would have been a huge uproar. I really think Paterno was unaware, not making an excuse for it. Yeah, right. You're right. I think putting his statue down, I think that was pretty much was the last nail in the coffin.
Well, Scott Anthony says someone has to take the fall for that corruption. Yes.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. But again, it's like anything else. A lot of times the top doesn't really know what the middle is doing. The middle management is the one that usually does the dirty work. Mm-hmm. While the top management is more involved in, promoting and making sure things are held together. But it really is the middle management that's more responsible for the day-to-day operation. And as a football coach, he was not hanging out to see what Sandusky was up to.
After hours. Yeah.
After hours, yeah, especially. Mm-hmm. It was his legacy to tarnish for eternity, yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
And Sandusky's sitting in jail now trying to fight this.
And fighting off cellmates. Yeah.
Yeah, really. I think they got him under... I don't know if they still got him under suicide. Why? That SOB doesn't want to die anyway, so I don't know why they're doing that.
Well,
but I'm sure he's.
Well, they always say rattlesnakes don't commit suicide, so
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they don't bite themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, what Scott Anthony says is
that a black Superman? No, actually, if you look at that sketch, that's really there's this great artist that's a friend of Anthony, Coffee Guy's brother. And he did that sketch, and it really is me in different personalities.
Yeah, it was done by Johnny Neptune.
It's supposed to represent all my personalities that they say I have.
Yeah.
I'm a Superman, I'm a guy that's ready to kill myself, I'm a little boy, and then there's me.
Yeah. I do have some other sports-related news. The Charlotte Bobcats has basically introduced Steve Clifford as the new head coach.
Okay.
And it says it may be a good fit for Charlotte, says the Bobcats are a long way from being a legitimate NBA playoff contender. The team introduced Clifford as a new head coach at a press conference yesterday. Clifford becomes the Bobcats' sixth different coach since the 2006-07 season and inherits a team that went combined 28 and 120 games over the past two seasons, by far the worst record in the NBA.
Why did they hire him?
Well, they hired him because
they feel sorry for him.
Yeah, they want Clifford to hopefully be able to turn North Charlotte team around. I mean, they're already changing their name to back to the Hornets. I guess that's Michael Jordan's decision since he's the owner of the Charlotte team.
Oh,
Bobcats. Yeah,
the Bobcats. Okay.
Yeah. Well, at least
I like the Bobcats. What's wrong with that name?
Well, I guess
Hornets is I don't know.
Hornets. Well, Hornets are more. People are more menacing toward a hornet than I guess a bobcat. I mean, if it was like the Charlotte Cougars or something, or saber-tooth tigers, yeah. But bobcat is like, hey, how you doing? I mean, it's a wildcat, but it's a really small wildcat. You know, basically like a feral, tabby cat or something on steroids or something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it was like a panther or Bengal tiger, maybe you'd be more intimidated by that than a bobcat. It's like, yay, Bob, that type of stuff.
Well, Sergio St. James said, I stopped watching basketball when the Hornets led, and then he has tons of Hornets memorabilia. Once again, what are they going to do with all that? That'll all be like, what do you call those?
You mean
collector's items?
Collector's items. Actually, truth be told, you probably might want to get all the Charlotte Bobcats memorabilia, because since they're going to go back to the Hornets, I think there's going to be more memorable items anyway, since they were originally the Charlotte Hornets, and then they moved them to New Orleans. Then they became the New Orleans Hornets, and then they took them back. Then Bob Johnson, who used to own BET, bought the Hornets, and then changed the name to the Bobcats, and then Michael Jordan bought the Charlotte Bobcats, and he's changing them back to the Hornets. So whoever has if you have any memorabilia of the Charlotte Bobcats now or the New Orleans Hornets back then, you might make a pretty penny. You probably want to hold on to it really, really soon. I mean, no doubt.
You never know.
Definitely never know.
Memorabilia is a big deal now.
Oh, yes.
Seems like everybody wants memories. They pay more for that. It's just like anything else. They pay more for that. Dead guys make more money than the live ones.
Yeah, or dead franchises.
Yeah, dead franchise.
Like the making Whoopi. And one of these days, I'm probably wear my making Whoopi hockey jersey.
No,
Run
Lord.
down there. That'd be.
Coffee Guy says, I still think North Carolina is more of a college basketball state.
Well, yeah, I can see that, because you have legendary players like Michael Jordan, from formerly of the Chicago Bulls and owner of the Hornets, well, soon to be Hornets, and as well as James Worthy, who played for the LA Lakers.
Yeah.
Who, matter of fact, was his teammate back in North Carolina when they on Chapel Hill when they won the national championship back in I think '82.
Wow.
Yeah, 82.
Got another sports story here. Bring it up.
Yes, former number one player Jelena Jankovic beat the Rain and Carbine Muguruza at the French Open. I guess early this week. Jankovic beat Muguruza 6-3 and 6-love shortly before showers interrupted the first matches on the day on the 12 other courts. Zhang Ji also reached the third round, beating Melanie Oden of the United States 6-3, 6-1. In the midday temperature in the mid-50s, Jankovic took the court wearing pink leggings and a long-sleeve pink shirt. She beat Muguruza with a steady play from the baseline, while the 19-year-old Spaniard committed 29 unforced errors. Jankovic seeded 18th, a three-time semifinalist at Roland Garros. On the men's side, number 16 ranked Philippe Kohlschreiber advanced when Yen Xiu Lu withdrew because of a right ankle injury. So I guess we're gonna have. So I guess they advanced the French Open will be done with the finals sometime next week, around the same time as the NBA finals and the NHL finals, Stanley Cup finals.
Well, anything else in sports?
I think that's pretty much it that I have right now.
Okay.
For sports, that's all you have.
Anyway, we're at 9:52, almost going on our second break. Boy, the time is flying this morning.
Yes, it has been. Yes, it has.
I'm loving it.
Been an exciting day.
An exciting day.
Very exciting.
Our day is going very, very smooth so far. We love our chatters. Why don't you go down the roster and thank them once again?
Oh, yes.
I got a question though. This guy had asked. This guy, Scott Anthony, it says Irv for County Commissioner of Bibb County, Ant for what?
What does it say that?
This thing keeps jumping around. He made a comment earlier. I don't know, man. This chat keeps jumping around.
Okay. Is this
You
chat?
must know you, Irv.
Okay, let me see. Where is that? Oh, these guys are talking about some of the memorabilia they have.
Yeah, Coffee Guy says NC Tar Heels, NC State, and Duke. Oh, wow. So Duke is, oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't know Duke was in North Carolina. Wow.
Irv for county commissioner of Bibb County. Ant for bipolar meds.
Ah.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Wow.
He
Gee.
must have been watching the show.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Coffee, I think, yeah, you do have a point. I think North Carolina is more of a college basketball state. Yeah, because now that you mentioned, would you have the North Carolina Tar Heels where Michael Jordan and James Worthy played, as well as NC State and Duke. I didn't know Duke was was in North Carolina. I guess it explains why they won back-to-back national championships back during the early '90s. Remember when they upset UNLV, because UNLV was about to hit back-to-back college titles and stuff, which was because I knew a guy who actually played at UNLV. This guy named Elroy Leonard. Excuse me, Elmore Spencer. He used to play for Georgia basketball, and then he transferred to UNLV and helped them win a national championship.
Well, speaking of a little bit more sports here, some history. And what's so funny is, this is not news to any of us, but Hank Aaron broke records in barriers as well. It says, this is a new story here. Aaron broke Babe's record in 1974.
Yeah, April 8th, 1974.
And says he was happy that Barry Bonds, when he broke his record, and despite huge salary, he's fine with not playing in this era. Hank Aaron, surrounded by hatred and bigotry in the Deep South, refused to leave when people wanted him gone. He broke the record many Americans didn't want him to break. Now he speaks at a time when it's just as easy to be silent. Aaron, 79, wow.
Yeah, 79 years old.
A man who symbolizes excellence and grace, will forever be remembered as a baseball player who broke one of the sport's greatest records, hitting his 715th homer in 1974 to eclipse Babe Ruth's all-time mark.
Right.
Yet the greatest feat of his lifetime, Aaron says, is the barrier broken in Washington. I never thought we'd be able to have a black president, Aaron tells USA Today Sports. President Obama's done such a tremendous job. He just has been unable to get what he needs to be moved at the level it should be moved. My wife and I pray that the people understand that. Aaron had received death threats and constant hate letters when he broke Ruth's record back in April 8, 1974. Anyway, that's a comment. Actually, I just put that out yesterday that, President Obama is the most heckled president in the history of this country.
Well, yeah.
And I just answered someone's post who said that it's all about freedom of speech, that they don't agree with me. And what I said in my post is that anybody that downplays our president and calls themselves a patriot, to me, is a bit of a hypocrite. Because although you're allowed to speak your mind, it just seems that all these bashers are always bashing him. And yet they say, oh, I'm a patriot, but they're always putting down the president.
Yeah.
They don't have no respect for the president.
Yeah,
and especially in the heckling area.
I mean, granted, I'm not saying he's not doing the best as he could be or should be, but listen, you can't deny that there's some underlying bigotry behind their disagreement with the guy.
Absolutely.
You just can't deny that.
Well,
and I mean, going back to the story about what about Hank Aaron, you were saying that people were not ready to accept me as a baseball player. According to Hank Aaron, he says the easiest part of that whole thing was chasing the Babe's record was playing the game itself.
Yeah.
The hardest thing was after the game was over was dealing with the press. They could never understand. Here comes a young black player from Alabama. He's challenging one of the most prestigious records in the world at that time, and they couldn't handle it.
Right.
And he was known to be not one of the greatest players who ever lived. He wants to be known as not as one of the greatest players who ever lived, who have 755 home runs and a record 2,297 RBIs and 25 All-Star game appearances, but as a great American. He says, this country has so much potential. I like to see things get better, and I think it will be. And he hopes that young people will understand that they're very lucky to be born in this country. The most important thing they need to understand is when they go to school, go to college, and graduate, is to make a contribution.
Yeah. And let me read you this blog that was put out that I put on Facebook, which now I'm getting some responses about President Obama being the most heckled president. Why is President Obama the most heckled president? And they say Code Pink, who's that woman that started like screaming at him during the time that he was doing his speech on what he's going to do with drones and all that. And Medea Benjamin, her name is, repeated the drag-out heckling of President Obama during his drone policy speech is simply the latest in a disgusting and damaging repeat act that has become almost ritual. The White House announces a major policy speech by Obama, then the predictable happens. Either at the start or midway through his speech, the shouts on the floor begin. The drone policy speech is followed by the act script. It's true that George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan were at times heckled, and in Bush's case, a shoe was tossed at him. But Obama, the pattern is sheer numbers. Times he's been heckled top anything that any former president has received. Counting Benjamin's eruption, the president has been heckled at least 10 times. The topper was the infamous "You lie."
You lie.
From the Georgia Congressman Joe Wilson during his 2009 State of the Union speech. This pattern of public vilification of and insult of Obama during his speeches was set almost from the start of his White House tenure, when a small knot of black protesters verbally assailed the president at a Florida stop in 2008 for allegedly not doing enough about predatory lending. The pattern firmly took hold from there, and it virtually became open season to disrupt an Obama speech anywhere and at any time. The Tea Party didn't help matters with his inconsensus marches and rallies that routinely featured the vilest, demeaning, and borderline racist depictions of Obama. The relentless public heckling of Obama also stems from even more insidious patterns of pure hate and vilification that spews forth against Obama from a parade of websites, bloggers, talk show jocks, and more than a few GOP officials with assorted borderline racist digs and taunts. In 2011, Beta University researchers tracked more than 20 Facebook page groups and users and found them filled with racist venom against Obama. There may be even more today. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, look, we have a president, you're allowed to speak what you feel about our president.
Yeah.
But the way they're doing it, they lost respect for what a president is. And if you're such a patriot and you say that I'm a great American, then you know what? You will respect whatever president is there.
But the thing is, a lot of people don't respect him because, one, they say he doesn't have type of experience. Well, I mean, neither did Romney, but still. Or Gingrich, for that matter. I mean, there are a lot of people who've done worse stuff. Yeah, I agree, though. Respect the office.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't respect...
No.
But
they call
themselves
patriots.
Because
and good Americans.
Let's be honest. I mean, he's the first black president. I know some people say, well, he's biracial. Yeah, but whenever something bad happens, they don't bring up the half-white part of him. They always bring the black part of him for some strange reason. And, you know, they always say, well, he was a Muslim, he's a terrorist, and blah, blah, blah. And which I think that's the only reason they call him that, because they really can't call him the N-word president, you know. We can't get rid of that Sambo in the White House, blah, you know, or any other racial, you know, slur, because they wouldn't be able to get away with it.
I put it up on Facebook that does the back, and I put that article up saying anybody that calls themselves a patriot and yet goes around bashing your president is a hypocrite. I'm sorry. That's what, in my opinion, whether you agree with it or not. And there are those that will say, well, you have a freedom of speech and all that. Yeah, but, you know, just like anything, you know, there is an extent to freedom of speech, and there's a responsibility that ought to be taken. And to me, it amounts to cyberbullying, and it amounts to bullying people.
Yeah, and plus, I don't think some people are just don't like to see certain people in certain positions.
Yeah.
I mean, because like going back to the story about Hank Aaron, he says he wears that the problem is still, you know, about you know, certain ethnic relations. It says there's only 2 African Americans in the U.S. Senate, only 2, both of whom were appointed. It says the unemployment rate for African Americans as of April is 13.2%. He still believes that there can't be a level playing field in the corporate world until there are more, you know, minority CEOs and presidents in the boardrooms. It says even in Major League Baseball, which has only 3 African American managers and only 1 general manager among its 30 teams. And, you know, this is while Aaron is grateful that Jackie Robinson cleared the way for him as well as other black players when he wrote the color barrier in 1947, he wished it happened earlier. He says, too bad integration didn't come sooner because there would have been so many ball players that could have made the major leagues. You know, that's why you look back and not to take away anything from Babe Ruth or someone of the other guys, they didn't play against the greatest ball players in the world because when they had the all-star games between Major League Baseball players and Negro League Baseball players, the Negro League basically owned them. I mean, they won more games than the against the Major League Baseball team players than the other way around.
Well, and again, if you go see the movie 42, let's go back to that for a minute.
Yeah.
About this racist rant that goes on. Just imagine what that movie was trying to teach you is how well Jackie Robinson handled all that horrible hate that was given to him.
Yeah.
That still continues today. And people will now justify that as, well, it's freedom of speech. Well, I don't think that freedom of speech is freedom of hate speech, although
or
some
I
may
mean,
differ.
you still can't say fire in a crowded theater.
Exactly. It doesn't give you the right to just say, you know, freedom of speech and then yell fire in the theater. Exactly.
Yeah, because even he said, I think he said that he's granted, like we said about Jackie Robinson, he said that Aaron says, I think he would be disappointed with the way things are today. He says baseball is down when he came along, and African Americans count for 7.7 players of the MLB rosters on opening day for this year. This is the lowest mark since the Boston Red Sox became the final team to integrate its roster back in 1959.
Wow.
So this is 12 years after Jackie Robinson.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break and take a breather here, but I hope that you guys are enjoying the show so far. And, of course, please, you know, speak up and say what what's on your mind. And I'm glad to have those that are here to be here, part of our show. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Prank Mania Pranks, I'm glad that you're here. And anybody can call in if you want.
Just talk. Don't.
We got a lot of prank phone calls, by the way.
Yeah.
Prank Mania.
It's 10:06 a.m. right now in Macon, Georgia. It's 75 degrees, partly cloudy with a high of 89 and a low of 69. It's May 30th, 2013. You're watching the Morning Roast live from the Nut House. 2 hours gone, 1 more to go. We'll be right back.
Incredible.
Yeah, this is what happens if you make a prank phone call here. Just to let you know. I don't know why I did that, but you're back.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
Hope you enjoyed that. Sorry about the coming back, but
yes, we had some video
can't
complications.
control those little bits and bytes and all that stuff that go on inside the computer. They go out of mind of their own.
Scott Anthony says that was in Tyler, Texas.
No, it wasn't a producer fail.
No.
It was a software fail.
Yes.
Software.
Yeah. Blame it on the software.
That's right. And if I wrote the software, because I've been an engineer since 1979.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway,
it's 10:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. It's May 30th, 2013. 78 degrees, partly cloudy with a high of 89 and a low of 69. You're watching the Morning Roast live from the Nut House. This is DB along with Irvin Martinez, and behind the wheel still the nurse center, the camera behind the brain, Ed Einbinder, aka Making Scarioke.
And of course, our wonderful chatters. We got B Cars, City Bomb, DS Photo Guy, Earl Skillet, Edward Mampa, the Coffee Guy, Analyzing Funny, I Have Issues, Prank Mania Prank, Shorty Brave 72, Strange Place, Fancy Fanny, Scott Anthony, and Vape Cars. Oh my God, so many. I'm losing my breath.
Yeah, I had to take a breath.
I'll tell you, we
get tired when you speak all those names.
Yeah, I love coffee too, Coffee. I'm glad that you.
You got some hazelnut for me?
Well, that just goes to show you. You know, You go pull a gun on a cop, you're gonna get shot.
Yeah.
The one cop was gonna shoot him while the kid was riding too.
Yeah.
He probably would have got away with it because nobody was around.
By the way, Ed, on our YouTube, what's the name of our YouTube site so you can subscribe to us?
I've got too many.
Yeah, he's got too many.
Just go to the Facebook page and then get all our videos.
Yeah, and
Yes.
if you go to our Facebook page, it's probably easier. But we used to be the Nut House. We used to be at the Nut House, I guess.
But but that's it's discontinued. But if you could get to our Facebook page of the Morning Roast, the videos that we have, especially of past shows, you could actually link them to the channel where they are, and you could subscribe to those said channels that are listed on there. And if you want to see even more classic videos, you get classic episodes of the Morning Roast when we were back in at the Roasted Cafe. You could either check them out on either my YouTube channel, Southpaw 2K1, or Derek Barrett Films.
Yep, and they're all there for you to see if you want to see some good TV while you're bored to death. You can always
I
go.
put thanks AF, because everybody tries to abbreviate. I didn't want to put thanks anal.
Okay.
Because that kind of looked wrong.
Anyway.
Hey, thanks anal.
Anyway, we had a skit that we used to do or whatever, a sequence or whatever on the show called The Truth, the Whole Truth, and Nothing But Bullshit. Okay? My brother Edwin Mampa wanted to call in and give 3 stories, so now would be a good time. Of course, you better have your stories ready.
Yeah, because we only have like less than 45 minutes left on the
Exactly.
show.
So give us a call if you have 3 stories, and one of them is going to be the lie, and 2 of them are going to be true.
Yeah, 2 of them are going to be true.
Okay,
And if
so
you
we'll
ever
try
want-
that.
And if you want to call in and have something to say, remember our number is 478-254-6287, or I Suck Goats.
Yeah, very simple. So,
I
That's
thought
the
they
number.
do that in Puerto Rico.
No, that's in Wales or
No,
Scotland.
I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I had a friend who was from Puerto Rico. Told me when he was a kid they used to fuck chickens.
oh,
Mm.
okay.
It was a chicken fuck. Rather than a chicken choker.
Scott Anthony says, where can I buy the Morning Roast laser disc, box set, ponchos, coffee mugs, mouse pads, and t-shirts? You know, I thought about that. I thought about actually having them as gifts. Maybe in the future we'll have that where you call in and we'll be able to send you
We'll find a way to get some stuff going, some coffee,
out to you.
Yeah, out to you, some Morning Roast merchandise. Just have to design.
Get some money.
Yes.
Good morning,
Well, we just
Eve.
spread
It's
it
good
out.
to
We
have
just
you
spread it
back.
out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, dang, we got
The
a
sounds of
fire.
the city.
Anyway, Analyzing Funny is an extensive paper I wrote for college, which was set the footprint for the formula funny.
Okay.
Well,
What's the number?
once again, what's the number?
478-254-6287 or
478-254-8267 or
626.
I suck
goats.
goats.
I suck goats.
Yeah.
Anyway, usually we have it, or I suck goats, correct. Is it 8247? No.
6287.
6287 Analyzing Funny, but thank you.
254-6287.
Yeah. But thank you for putting that up anyway. That'll be a prank phone call
Yeah.
that you make. Anyway, you need to make a commercial like and cash now. Yeah, that would be funny. Wear that underwear that he wears.
I need my money and I
With a big
need
mug.
cash now. Call 1-800-877
Anyway.
cash now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let's see, what
I
else?
have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Oh, hey.
Oh, I love that commercial. Okay, there's the phone.
Right there.
Oh. Here we go. Our first phone call. Morning, Roast. Good morning. This is Edwin Mampa. My brother, he's going to give a story. Again, this is known as, the skit is known as the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but bullshit. And Edward, give us our 3 stories.
Okay, I met Dom DeLuise at the Windsor Hotel in New York, and I became his best friend. And he wrote to me from Corsica, California. I wrote a book, and he wrote a children's book. And I sent my book to his publisher, which he turned it down. But I did send my book to his publisher. I also knew his sons, and they wrecked the whole hotel rooms. That's Peter DeLuise. And I met Joan Baez, and I went out with her that night, and we had dinner, and she invited me to her house, but I could not go.
Okay, and that's 2 stories. We got one more, right?
No, I gave you 3. His kids wrecked the hotel room.
Oh, okay. All right, so which one of those is the bullshit story, folks? Is it 1, 2, or 3? The first one was what, Dom DeLuise?
Yeah, he met Dom DeLuise, yeah.
The second one was?
Scott Anthony said third one because he didn't bang Joan Baez.
Third one? Edward, what is
I agree. He didn't bang Joan Baez.
Okay, Plastic Canvas says number 2.
I think it's number 2 also, because I knew Dom DeLuise. He had some books published, but I don't think it was a children's book. It was a cookbook. It was a cookbook, because I remember seeing that on live with Regis and Kathy Lee or something like that.
All right, so you think the Dom DeLuise children's book part of meeting Dom DeLuise is bullshit?
Yeah.
Okay. And Edward, give us what the real story is.
Okay, the real story is I did meet Dom DeLuise.
Okay.
You write them, and he wrote to me back from Corsica, California. I did send my book, my children's book, to his publisher, which he turned it down.
Okay.
His sons did destroy the hotel room, and I met Joan Baez, but she never invited me for dinner. And some guy she tried to bang me, or I tried to.
All right, well, Scott Anthony got it right. The third one is a lie. He did not bang Joan Baez.
Okay.
I didn't think so either.
Oh, isn't Joan Baez gay? Is she a lesbian?
I think Joan Baez is a lesbian, right, Ed?
Not only that, she was too old.
Hey, don't matter. I'm a lesbian caught in a man's body.
She was too old.
Well, thank you for that, Ed.
Oh, man.
All right.
All right, buddy. See you later. Thank you for that. All right. Well, there you go. There you have it. There's our skit for the morning.
That was a good
We're
one.
going to ask you guys, by the way, every single one of you chatters, to make sure you call in and give us a story. And again, it's known as the truth, the whole truth, or nothing but bullshit. So think about some stories that are true, a couple of them, and then give us a bullshit story. It'll be great fun to hear from you guys as well. We love to hear your voices.
Yeah, especially some stuff. I do have some stuff. It may be local or national.
Here we
I should
go.
say, about our future kids and stuff. Student loan interest rates go up. 7 million students, college students, are about to get a tough lesson in economics. Interest rates on student loans subsidized by the government will most likely to double to 6.8% on July 1st. The increase will only affect 1/3 of all undergraduate students who have subsidized loans that are awarded based on economic need. Undergraduates with unsubsidized loans have been paying 6.8% since 2007. Congress and the White House agree something should be done to prevent the increase. They just don't agree on how to do it. The Republican-controlled House passed a bill last week that would stop the rates from doubling now, but would allow them to rise later. President Obama vowed to veto it, calling it the wrong approach. And that's pretty much. Yeah.
Well, let me just say this. This is breaking news, by the way, folks. For those of you who know my history here in Macon, I was running for state senator here one time last year, or about 2 years ago. No, last year. And then I was also running for Bibb County Commission, which I dropped out to become a community activist. Well, one of the people that I ran against was Marion Paris.
Yes.
Well, the newest news is that former Senator and City Council President Miriam Paris announced she is running for the Democratic District 26 seat held by her former opponent, David Lucas. He was also my opponent. David Lucas is now the state senator here in Macon, Georgia. And that is good news for Macon Bibb. So that's
I got a better
the
Obama
breaking news.
imitation. I gotta tell you a story, dude. Story about a man named Jed. Jed, he was a poor mountaineer. He barely kept his young kid.
Who's that supposed to be? A Jewish Obama? That just gave me the finger.
Let me get the story. So he met a guy named Jed looking for some food, and he shot on the ground, and then came Bubba
Well, he's
Root.
always got a story. I'm going to tell you a story. You know what? When somebody tells me something, and they got a whole diatribe before they get to the point, they lose my attention.
Well, that's
I'm
true.
Okay.
Giving them right out. I can't take that. I
Well,
don't care what happened 20 years ago. Just tell me what the fuck you're talking about. Thank you.
Scott Anthony makes a point, by the way, regarding your story about high interest rates on student loans. Kids should skip college and become plumbers. Actually, I would agree with that somewhat because it's almost impossible to find a good plumber these days. I mean, I've been there, and that would be a good way to make a living right now.
Oh
Believe
yeah,
me.
definitely.
Roto-Root is still in business.
Yeah, that's true. Coffee Guy says, "Gotta run, guys. Mattress business.
Bye,
Take
Coffee
care.
Guy.
Take care, later."
Well, actually, the best business to get into is funeral home because everybody's dying for the business.
Yes.
Anyway, but what the hell are we talking about?
That's just.
Unbelievable.
When you said down for the business, I mean, who wants to die?
You know, plumbers and electricians, they make a lot of money,
Put me
right?
out of my misery.
Am I right? Plumbers, electricians,
Air conditioning technicians. I was going to become one.
Oh, yeah,
I was
'cause it
trying to
does
become
get-
a
it does
computer
get-
engineer so I could be in air conditioning.
Yeah, it does get hot.
But I didn't want to be out sweating my balls off.
well, yeah. And also, air conditioners weigh a lot, don't they, Ed? Get hernias.
No, man, you use tools. Dude. You don't just pick them up.
Anyway, there's so many other things that they can do today that the kids don't really need. I mean, I would advocate they go to college for the education, but I have always said there's other ways of making money. I mean, you wind up in debt before you even get a job. Good morning, Gecko Lizard. Good to have you back. It's always good to have you.
It's funny, man. It's just so funny that.
Oh, Gecko, thanks for watching my movie channel last night, the matinee. I seen you out there. I actually had fell asleep. And I kind of peeked
It's
up.
kind of, yeah. But speaking of trying to make a living, you know the guy James Lipton who has the access of the Insider Actor Studio. You would not believe what he used to be. This guy, I mean,
Unbelievable. You talk about a guy that had a different kind of a job. If those of you who don't know who James Lipton is, he's the guy on that Actor Studio show
on Bravo.
on Bravo.
Yeah, he does interviews with certain celebrities. I mean, from Jamie Foxx to Tom Hanks, Ron Howard, even Dave Chappelle and the like. But here's something that you never thought this guy would be. I mean, he revealed in an interview in Parade magazine that he, James Lipton, used to be a pimp.
Oh my.
So did I.
And an ugly one at that. That poor boy had to get laid somehow.
Like, wow. He used to be a pimp. He ran a bordello in France during the 1950s, blaming the country's poor post-war economy for the temporary career choice. Says Paris was different then, still poor. Men couldn't get jobs in the male chauvinist Paris of that time. The women couldn't get work at all. It was perfectly respectable for them to go into the le milieu. And one of the prostitute whores and I became great friends. When I ran out of money, I said, I have to go home. She said, no, you don't. I'll arrange it for you. So she arranged for me to do it, and I had to be okay I had to be okayed by the underworld. Otherwise, they would have found me floating in the same river. I represented them, a whole bordello, but her especially. I did a roaring business, and I was able to live for a year. The French Mex didn't exploit women. They represented them like agents, and they took a cut. That's how I lived. I was going through my rites of passage, no question about it. It was a great year of my life. So he was
I bet
of the year.
I bet they loved him because the way he speaks, if you ever see him speak, he's so cordial.
Yes, please, my dear bitch, where is my money? I think I'm like 200 francs short. Does James Lisbon gonna have to choke a bitch? Please, put your neck right here.
Yeah.
Thank you, and make your eyes roll in back of your head. Yes.
What?
You will bring the money.
Could you ever imagine him being a pimp? I swear to God, I would never imagine George Lipton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's funny, he had a name like Lipton. Okay, anyway.
Like tea.
Like tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had it down to a T, all right. I swear to you.
Dang, you beat me to the
You think
punch,
about
man.
that. I mean, he had some... Yeah, he had short... they all have short francs, LOL. Yeah, they all do. By the way, I saw him interviewing Elton John. And I think Elton John lost like 20 pounds that day because he had him keep going to the piano. Mm-hmm. You know, he would say, would you play this one for us? Would you play that one for us? And he'd get up and go to the piano. He had to walk across the stage. He did it maybe about 10 times.
Oh my goodness, you're crazy. Scott Anthony, 823 says, James Lipton invented the tea bag.
Yeah, I bet he did. Anyway, and that guy is funny as hell. They did him on Saturday Night Live. I don't remember who played him.
Yeah, Will Ferrell did it.
Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Will Ferrell played him.
Funny guy.
And did a good job with it, too.
Definitely.
But, anyway, I can't believe that. I'm still in shock.
Yes. It tripped me out for a while. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It just blew
a freaking pimp.
Blew
Anyway.
me away.
You know what? It may be a good way to make money in this recession.
Well, speaking of people who need some help in a recession, country singer Miranda Lambert broke down in tears during a program last night.
Yeah.
Miranda Lambert broke down in tears during her performance at the Oklahoma benefit Healing in the Heartland on Wednesday night on NBC. The country music star choked back tears as she sang her hit "The House That Built Me," live from the Chesapeake Energy Arena in Oklahoma City, which was broadcast live on NBC last night. At one point during the song, Miranda had to take a moment away from the microphone to regain her composure. A verse about planning for the family's dream house and building it from scratch says, "Mama cut out pictures of houses," quote unquote, got the singer too choked up to sing, so she aimed her mic toward the crowd and let them finish the verse. After regaining her composure, Miranda finished the song, but it was an emotional number that left her wiping her tears. At the end of the song, Miranda mouthed sorry to the crowd, adding, "I love you, Oklahoma."
I got breaking news.
Oh, you do?
Come on, bring it on, baby.
All right, y'all remember the story about the Twiggs County inmate that ripped his shower head off the wall?
What's
walked
happened?
through the wall, jumped over the fence. They finally caught him a couple days later. Twiggs Sheriff fires 2 guards after jailbreak. Twiggs County Sheriff says he's fired the 2 guards on duty during Saturday night's jailbreak, saying it was due to pure negligence. Sheriff Darren Mitchum says Crystal Watkins and Wes Graham should have been doing hourly block checks at the jail, but didn't. Escaped Twiggs inmate Troy Criswell was caught Tuesday after 3 days on the run. He reportedly ripped out a shower head in a common bathroom that created a hole in the wall large enough for him to call through, then dug under 2 fences to escape. What a way to go.
Wow.
He should have hauled ass, man.
Yep.
They found him walking along the tracks.
Well, speaking of which, he should have read his horoscope.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into that segment. We're going to do the horoscope, your daily horoscope for today. So the first few people that put their sign up, we're going to read your horoscope.
Well, you could just go ahead and start off with the first one.
Okay, we're going to do
I'm
it
an Aries anyway.
on an Aries. Okay, here we go. And this is your daily horoscope for today. What's today's date?
May 30th.
May 30th, 2013. You will most likely be hungry for attention today, Aries. Look at others who are center stage and adjust your appearance or attitude in order to be more like them. Be careful of getting obsessed with attention. The key is to be yourself and happy regardless of who's watching. Wow. A flower unseen blooms just as beautifully and smells just as sweet. There you go.
I think I'll definitely keep that in mind. Speaking of which, that story about that CBS having that diversity thing with getting more soap actors on TV or something, minority soap actors. I did what my friends said they kept telling me, hey, to go ahead and mail my resume and headshot. I mailed it yesterday afternoon, around about 4:30 over at the post office. So hopefully, cross my fingers. We'll see what happens. They'll probably get us sometime next week, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yes.
And by the way, for Taurus, this is a great day to strut your stuff, Taurus. You're on top of the world and so enjoying it. Your family and the people around you. Isn't that funny? That's how I feel today. You're at the forefront of action. Don't miss a beat. Regardless of the conversation buzzing around you, you're able to whip out the facts and dates at the drop of a hat. Don't let anyone bring you down or talk to you out of your good mood. That is for every Taurian here.
Alrighty.
And we'll do
Gemini?
Gemini, since Gemini is next up. You may feel tense, Gemini, perhaps because someone close to you disregards the way you feel. You feel as if this person is more concerned with his or her own issues and not concerned about you. Meanwhile, your sensitive, caring heart is well aware of everyone else. You support others and are thoughtful. It's time to rearrange your priorities. First care about yourself, then others. There you have it.
Actually, I think Prankomania was asking, what about Leos and Scorpios?
Okay, we got Leo coming up, and that is Leo. You may be called upon to host a gathering in your home, Leo. At first, this could throw you into a panic because you don't think your house is clean enough. Don't worry, it's probably impeccable. You're the only one who will notice any dust, so don't sweat it. And that's Leo. What was the other?
Scorpios.
Scorpio.
Because Prankomania said, I dated 2 Scorpios back to back, LOL. Hey,
okay, there we go. This is a great day for you, Scorpio. Unexpected reunions are possible thanks to the lighthearted aura you radiate. You don't need to work very hard to bring everything your way. Your sunny personality attracts a fun and good fortune that you most certainly deserve. People are extremely lucky to be in your glowing presence on a day like this.
Okay.
There you have it.
I think Shawty Brave, I think that's the only other person who wanted to know, he put in Libra.
Libra. My brother's a
Scales.
Libra as well. So this is for you, Edward Mampa and Shorty. You may be running into obstacles associated with your goals. You may feel you aren't getting the support and cooperation you deserve. Today you may sense that people are emotionally distant with shallow views on certain issues. People you expected to be on your side may turn away against you, making you feel betrayed. Try not to take things personally. There you have it.
There you go. All right.
Okay, what do we got for birthdays, by the way?
Oh, for birthdays?
What's today's birthday?
Today's birthday is May the 30th. We're going to try to see if we have some May 30th birthdays. Actually, yesterday, May 29th, would have been John F. Kennedy's 96th birthday.
Okay, wow.
He would have been 96 years old.
Yeah, and he probably would have lived. Those people lived till they were old.
Oh, for celebrity birthdays, we had CeeLo Green. Okay.
Everybody knows who
39.
CeeLo is?
Yes, from... need page number. Oh, yes.
Yes, I can look them up and get them ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't want to sit there like an idiot.
Oh, yeah. By the way, ask for page numbers.
Okay, we got a new segment. Besides the wordsmith or word origins, we also have one called Who Said That First?
Right.
So who said that first? I need a page number between 11 and 313 and number 1 or 2
311,
and 313.
252.
Yeah, 250 and number 2. Yeah.
Okay, why don't you write that down so we'll go to that?
Okay,
Okay.
and well, I'm writing it down.
Oh,
I
cool.
got that.
Perfect.
And for the word origins, I need between pages 12 and 554, and just give me that page.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Earl Skillet is giving us some news
Give me a
here.
page number. I'll tell you what number to give me after I find out how many is on that page.
Okay.
Okay.
Give us a page number for words origins, and we'll look at how many verses there are. 499,
Okay.
City Bumps is page 499.
Okay.
and then we'll look after once we get it there. City Bum. By the way, rest in peace, Clarence Burke Jr., lead singer of the Five Stair Steps. Oh, child, things are getting easier.
Oh, he sung that song? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Ooh,
He's
child,
dead now.
things are gonna get
How old was he?
Yeah, how old was he, Earl?
If we're talking birthdays.
Yeah. Well, actually, he died. I don't know if was it his birthday?
Well, who knows?
Well, anyway, as I said, CeeLo Green for May 30th. Oh, he was 62 years old. Okay. Also, CeeLo Green turned 39 today. Jake Shore is age 16. He's a child actor known as Fletcher from the Disney's Ant Farm. Steven Gerrard, age 33, champion soccer player and captain of the Liverpool football team. Lee Francis, he's 40 years old. He's English entertainer, starred in the show Celebrity Juice and Keith Lemon's Lemonade. Winona Judd is of the Judds. Is turned 49 years old. Adina Menzel, the wife of Taye Diggs, is turning 42 today. She's the actress best known for her stage work in Broadway musicals Rent and Wicked.
By the way, that guy was 62 years old.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
He died 4 days ago. Go ahead.
Okay. Mel Blanc was born on this day, 1908. He died in 1989. He's known as the voices of the Looney Tunes characters. Majority of the male Looney Tunes characters: Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck.
Do a Bugs
Yosemite
Bunny
Sam.
impression. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll try to do my best, Doc.
That was good.
Yeah,
I love it. Okay, what's up?
That was lovely. Yes. Tom Morello, age 40, he turned 49 years
Who is
old
that?
today. Rock guitarist for Audio Slave and Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, okay. Rage Against the Machine.
Gale Sayers, from the former player referred to as the Kansas Comet. He's a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, despite playing only 7 seasons. Of course, you know he used to play for Chicago Bears, and he's best known when he played by the actor Billy D. Williams in the movie known as Brian Song. Brian Song, who was the story of Brian Piccolo, who was a teammate of Gale Sayers, who were fighting for the same position of running back at the Chicago Bears at one time. They didn't like each other at first, but after Gale Sayers got his knee injury, Brian Piccolo nursed him back to health, and they became friends after that. During rehab, and then while Gale was getting better and better, and they played side by side. Brian ended up getting cancer and stuff. Well, you know the story.
Yeah, well. And if you didn't, you know it now.
Yes. Both versions are both on DVD. The 1971 version with Billy D. Williams and James Caan is out on DVD, as well as the 2001 version with starring Mekhi Phifer.
Wow. Anyway, Scott Anthony says Gale was a good athlete. Keep going.
Oh, yeah.
You got a couple more here.
Clint Walker, he turned 86 years old today. He's an American movie actor starring in westerns like Cheyenne and Yuma. Benny Goodman was born on this day, 1909. Died in 1986.
And we got an incoming call. Let's see who it is. Good morning, Rush. Okay, there we go. Another prank phone call.
Yes. Also, other birthdays, Lou Diamond? Lou Diamond Phillips. That can't be right. Oh, yeah. But anyway, Mark Shepard, he turned 49 years old. He plays the role of Sinister Demon Crowley in the CW TV show Supernatural. Manny Ramirez, who plays for the Indians and Red Sox and the LA Dodgers, was suspended for using steroids. He turns 41 today. Also, let's see, Henry Enfield, a British comedian and actor who was in Men Behaving Badly. He turned 52 years old today. Topper Heaton, he's 58 years old, former drummer of the punk rock band The Clash, turned 58 years old today. Mane Noji, achieved fame playing Dr. Kelly Lee on General Hospital.
Go, scroll down. Let's name some people that are famous.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
All
She's
these people
40.
are like, you know,
Yeah,
how
Cole-
did they die and become stars?
Yeah,
man?
Cole Meany, he's 60 years old, famous for the role of Miles O'Brien in Star Trek Next Generation.
Yes.
Ted McGinley, known for playing Al Bundy's neighbor on the sarcastic comedy Married with Children. He turned 55 years old today. Let's see, Billy Donovan, the head coach of Florida Gators basketball team, who led his team to back-to-back NCAA championships. He turned 48 years old. Keir Dullea, age 77, he played astronaut Dave Bowman in Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Michael J. Pollard, he's 74 years old. He played childlike C.W. Moss in Bonnie and Clyde. Wow, I didn't know this. Ralph Carter, 52 years old today, and best known for his nominated work on the Broadway musical Raisin, based on the story Raisin and Son. And he's also known, probably more known on television, playing Michael Evans, the younger son, on Good Times.
Oh, no kidding.
He's
I met
52.
him. And believe it or not, I was living in Brooklyn. And my aunt, Violet Edward, if you remember Violeta, and I go into her house.
Right.
And there's this kid sitting on her sofa. And I'm like, what the hell? And so we talked that he was meeting up with his, the girl that played his sister on the show.
Thelma? Yeah.
She was marrying a guy that lived in my aunt's building.
Oh,
And he
okay.
was there waiting on her and him to show up so he could be in the wedding.
Wow.
So I got to meet that kid
That's freaking amazing.
at my aunt's house.
Wow.
Who's like this 60-year-old woman that with a kerchief on. What the hell is he doing in her house? It was beyond me.
Yeah, who
Anyway.
would've thought? I can't believe he's that old, though. Well, I knew he was older than me, but I didn't know he was
How old is he?
52. He turned 52.
Yeah, he's about my age.
Okay.
He's a little older than me. Oh, by the way, somebody mentioned something here that was funny. No, here it is. Where is it?
Edward Mama says, that's how I said hello to the fat girls? Hi, Edward. Oh.
Something about somebody getting beat up named Scrunchy. He went to a Neil Diamond concert.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, hello, Rosin. Just want to say hello to you. If in case I didn't say hello to you earlier today.
Earl Skillet just found out Marvin Jr., the baritone of the Dells, died this week too.
Oh.
Stay in my corner.
Oh, yeah. He's,
You know about
he's
him?
that. Yeah, he's a famous R&B singer. Matter of fact, he got the story. Matter of fact, yes.
Yeah, and it was Shorty Brave 72. He said, I went to a Neil Diamond concert and saw a guy get beat up by a guy named Scrunchy.
Yeah, I wouldn't even tell nobody that.
That is funny as hell. Anyway.
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, maybe that's what did it. He pissed him off with that ugly song.
Wow.
And I like Neil Diamond. He actually grew up in the neighborhood I grew up in. You got something there?
Yeah, by the Dells, Marvin Jr. Yes, his husky mahogany instrument was the inspiration for Teddy Pendergrass and other countless male singers who emulated his gritty, powerful voice and conviction. The very personification of a masculine voice soul singer. When Jr. sang, you believed every word. He was a baritone as one of the two longtime lead singers for the Dells. We lost the falsetto lead, Johnny Carter, back in 2009. Marvin helped define for a generation what a male soul singer was expected to be. Soulful, declarative, and unwavering, sure in his desires and love. The kind women wanted and the men respected.
Like, what was his name? The big fat guy that died.
Barry White?
Yeah, Barry White.
Yes. He was...
Okay, this is Analyzing Funny, I believe.
He was like 76 or 70... Yeah, he was 77 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, the job is done. There's
Wow.
blood all over
Matter of fact...
Yeah, the job is done. There's blood all over the place.
Okay. Well, anyway, as far as Mr. Jr. is concerned, Marvin Jr. was in his group. He was culturally impactful during their run.
Yeah, you just it was Prankster. I told you that. Okay, not a big deal. Prankster, I'm sorry. Call back for God's sake.
Yes, it was speaking with the Dells and Marvin Jr., he was the inspiration for Robert Townsend's hit film The Five Heartbeats back in 1991 when it first came out. I actually have a copy of that DVD. I probably will let you give a copy of that. It was a very good movie.
Jeez. All right, Prankster, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Please call back. We've been getting a lot of prank phone calls. Believe it or not, it's been really crazy here. So, but I knew you were calling back. I was going to answer.
We know where they're coming from.
All right. Well,
Yes, I do have. Anyone want to check out some stories in trending now?
yeah, let's do trending.
Okay. Number 10 is Sheriff Joe recall. Number 9 is 2.5 Men Lady. Number 8 is Michael Young bereavement. Number 7 is minimum bet $1.6 million. Number 6, Jalen Messersmith gay coming out. We already talked about that earlier. Number 5, Saints wide receiver DWI. Number 4, Jack Vance dies. Number 3, Minaj settles feud. Number 2, Ramsey no burgers. And number 1, woman killed at Costco. So you can pretty much talk about any of the stories except for number 6 because we already talked about that earlier in the show, which was the Jalen Messersmith coming out of the closet, the first openly gay college player to play active college player to play in NCAA basketball.
Prankster Mania, please call back. I make sure that you get on. Once again, I'm sorry about that. I know you don't want to interrupt or prank us. That's how bad.
Okay.
There we go. Morning, Rose. Hello? Good evening on you. It's good morning to us. What's going on, buddy?
Not too much. This is my second time in your show, and I love the show.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. We appreciate
You
that.
guys do an absolutely fine job,
Appreciate it.
and I hope you keep it up.
Thank you, my brother, and I hope that you keep up coming to us and being a part of our show and our family now. You've been adopted.
When I can make it.
Yeah.
Where are you located?
I'm in the cities, the Minneapolis, St. Paul area.
Whoa. Okay. Upper North Midwest, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Midwest.
Yeah. We love the idea that this show has people from all over the country and even outside the country.
Yes.
Is that near Mall of America?
Yes, the Mall of America, the very famous Mall of America, right
Yeah,
now.
I used to live out in Omaha. I've been to the mall there. That's awesome, man.
It's a very great mall. There's too much to see here.
Got their own amusement park in the mall.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do they have the biggest Wonder Wheel there? Something
Coasters,
like that? No?
Indoor roller coasters, a log ride, and all kinds of exhibits, attractions.
Wow, that's
Oh,
got to
okay.
be incredible. I know that's got to be like a shopper's paradise there.
Ain't nothing like the Maker Mall.
Food court.
Ah.
They got 3 food courts, a full theater. They got so many great restaurants, including Bubba Gump Shrimps
Yeah.
restaurant from the movie. I think it was inspired from the movie Forrest Gump. It was Bubba Gump Shrimp restaurant.
Yeah, oh, well, let me tell you, I ought to be doing more searching over here in the country. I really need to get the hell out more often. And by the way, heavy hitter, we're from Macon,
Yes.
you know.
We were about like 80, 85 miles south of Atlanta.
And by the way, a DS photo guy says, I was there on weed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Is marijuana legal in your area?
And try going on those rides on that. You'll have a lot of fun. It'll be an even more exciting day.
Well, they're starting to legalize it countrywide, and I'm glad about that. I've always said that they should legalize it, or even decriminalize it for those who don't want to legalize it. You know?
Yeah, I've heard about the legalization, and that was pushed from. They tried to get Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger to do it. They tried to get Governor here, but Jesse Ventura, he wanted to legalize marijuana.
Yeah.
And they tried to get Obama, and they tried to get everybody to legalize it, just to tax it, and saying, yeah, it would be a great economy for the country to turn around and get out of this this hole that we're all in, with gas prices and less jobs and low-paying jobs.
By the way, Analyzing Funny saying he just asked you a question. Did you ask a question?
I didn't see it. Oh, hold on. Let me look. I didn't see the question. How far back is it?
I don't know. Analyzing Funny is putting that up.
You might have to retype. Oh, he just asked you. Oh, he just asked you a question. What was your question?
Oh, if they legalize marijuana, or is it legal? And I think you answered that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Legalize it here in my state. I don't smoke weed, but I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
They should probably do that. They should probably legalize it because then they can tax it. They can make it available. But here's the thing, too. There are people already growing it themselves. So that's probably why they won't legalize it, because it's going to be sold black market anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they should just legalize it, no?
People from making it and say, oh, yeah, we're going to sell it like cigarettes, you know?
You know, so what's so funny? What's so funny is that when they criminalized liquor, that's when all the bars opened up, and then you had Al Capone,
Prohibition, yeah.
and Prohibition during Prohibition. It just made America more of an alcoholic country than it was before.
Right.
So it's almost like when you tell people don't do it, they start going crazy.
Yeah, it's like those speakeasies, yeah.
So I think they should legalize it, and I bet you that the usage of marijuana would go down. That's what I think.
See, here's a good point. You don't see people killing somebody on the highway because they were intoxicated by marijuana. The alcohol, there are so many drunk driving related accidents, fatalities related to alcohol, but yet they still sell it freely.
I know. It doesn't make any sense. They should regulate it like alcohol and tax it.
Yeah.
I mean, people are not going to give it up. I'm sorry. It's always going to be here, just like everything else. It's always going to be here. So, might as well just legalize it, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gecko is right. Booze brings out anger.
Yep.
Causes fights, causes gaps.
Yeah, I could tell you that for a fact. I'm an angry drunk myself. I can't drink anymore for that reason.
And a lot of people quit because they get angry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really?
So, and I never get angry on weed. I get happy, or I get tired, or I get really hungry.
Yeah.
Or you get hungry or you get tired, but you don't get crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to add, buddy? Anything going on? Do you have a show?
Yes, I do have a show, but the reason why I'm Prankomania Pranks is I'm getting ready to start a YouTube with doing pranks on the streets. You've seen other people do pranks on YouTube.
Well, make sure you get on our Morning Roast site. Maybe.
You know, ever heard of Howie reporting live?
Yes, I know of that guy.
He's an asshole. Oops. He lives here in Macon.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of trouble here in Macon.
Howie's out there.
Everybody knows Howie Hansel.
Oh, yeah, okay. You know what? Stick around, because when we pull out, I'm going to play Howie's video. From when he escaped from jail.
Oh, you're going to love this. If you have not seen this video, this video was like #1. And it's Howie Hansel. And how he handled that was crazy. You got to see this video. But anyway, get on our Morning Roast page and give us a link to your show. We'd love to promote it. And like I said, you're now family.
I go live nightly, and this is the show I currently use. It's just VonLive.tv. It's Jeff Live.
Okay, wonderful.
Like yesterday.
So it's Jeff, right?
Jeff. Okay.
Yeah,
The
it's
show's called It's Jeff.
right. It's Jeff, and
What time
you.
is your show?
I usually go live about 1 a.m. Central Standard. It's a late night show.
1 a.m. Central, so...
It'd be 2
that's
a.m.
gonna be
here.
2 a.m. here.
Yeah, 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I know
Well,
that's
not bad.
late for you guys. Sometimes I go at 1 Eastern, but...
Well, that would have been good for me to know last night because I couldn't sleep, and believe me, I was up at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great insomnia show.
Okay, great.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people fall asleep in there. They just put the laptop on their bed or whatever, and then they lay down. They might not type much, but they're still listening, and they fall asleep to the show, which is fine.
Well, I'm looking forward to being on it, and I'll make sure that I tune in, maybe even tonight, because I'm still a little bit wired up from...
What is their username in case you want to let me know?
It'll be Spokesman Bimbo. That's who I am on the chat line.
I'll just remember the word bimbo. I lost the first.
Okay, well, this is weird because this came about where I answered this woman called Helen, who Edwin knows is the McLeod, Helen McLeod. Her name now is Helen York. And I found her on Facebook, and she was saying a lot of stuff about herself and putting herself down. So I tried to send her a message telling her, calm down, don't do this to yourself. And all of a sudden, it came up where you had to have, in order to send the message, I had to have some kind of code that you got to put in. And you know how that code is. What do they call that code?
Morse code?
Yeah, that you have to put in letters to show that you're actually a live person.
A captcha.
A captcha. And it said Spokesman Bimbo. And since I'm a Christian, I thought, isn't that funny that they would say that? So I decided, because I'm a spokesman for God, and I'm kind of a bimbo for him, and so I thought it was perfect. And so I kept it as a name online, Spokesman Bimbo.
Hey, when I signed up for that Chitters, the other program like Bond,
Yeah.
my caption was titless.
That's fun.
Okay.
Titless. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if you are titless. I don't want to see you. Anyway. But listen, it's always good to have you. I'm glad to hear your voice. We're going to do our last little gig here called...
Wordsmith and Who Said It First?
Oh, God, we still got to do all those. All right, let's do Wordsmith. Hey, buddy, I know that somebody gave us pages. You want to hang on, or...
No. I'll let you go. I understand your time, and thank you for having me. We'll see you soon, and have a great day.
You too, pal.
Thanks.
And don't forget to put your link on our Facebook page, The Morning Roast. Okay, Jeff?
Okay, I will make sure to do that because I'm going to be a YouTuber very soon.
Okay, great. And it's, by the way, it's www.vaughnlive.tv/It's Jeff Live.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, buddy. God bless, man.
Take care.
All right, you too. Both of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's do this, guys.
Okay. Since it's already written first, I'll go ahead and get into who said it first that Ed sent me. And the quote says, spill the beans. Who said the phrase, spill the beans?
Interesting.
It says, by itself, spill indicates something that has been allowed out of where it should have remained, as in blood was spilled. Or metaphorically, that information had been released inadvertently or unwisely. There are different stories explaining how beans got into the picture. Ancient Greek voting was done with beans, or Turkish fortune tellers poured beans from a cup and read the resulting configuration. There's no solid evidence behind these, but spilling beans certainly crept into informal American usage in the early 1900s. The first author to use it was Thomas K. Holmes in The Man from Tall Timber from 1919. We learned that in front of acquaintances that she had hoped to impress Mrs. Lemoyne is claimed joyously by a frowsy old woman who knew her years before they had worked together at Shattuck's Eating House. Mother has certainly spilled the beans, thought Stafford in vast amusement, for Mrs. Lemoyne once have been caught by Aunt Tabby, saw the futility of clinging to any of her city airs and graces. So that's what it basically means. And the wordsmith of the day, the word of the day, is tease. Tease originally meant separate the fibers of wool, a sense that's still perceptible in the metaphorical tease out of disentangle something complicated. It came from prehistoric West Germanic Taishan, Taisjan, whose base was also the source of the English teasel, Old English, a plant whose prickly flower heads were used for carding wool. The notion of irritating someone with prickles led the 17th century to tease being used for pester, which gradually weakened into make fun of. So that's today's word of the day.
Wow.
Tease.
And this is a perfect segue for our daily bread, because the title of this is called A Tragic Flaw by David C. McCaslin. Here
Wow.
we go. In literature, a tragic flaw is a character trait that causes the downfall of a story's hero. That is true with Uzziah, who was crowned king of Judah at the age of 16. For many years, he sought the Lord, and while he did, God gave him great success. 2 Chronicles 26, verse 4 to 5. But things changed when his fame spread far and wide, for he was marvelously helped till he became strong. But when he was strong, his heart lifted up to his destruction. Verse 15 to 16. Uzziah entered the temple of the Lord to burn incense on the altar. Verse 16. Openly defying God's decree. Perhaps pride convinced him that God's rules applied to everyone except him. When Uzziah raged against the priest, who told him this is not right, the Lord struck him with leprosy. Verse 18 to 20. In literature and in life, how often we see a person of good reputation fall from honor, like Livestrong, that guy, whatever, in honor into disgrace and suffering. King Uzziah was a leper until the day of his death. He dwelt in an isolated house, cut off from the house of the Lord. Verse 21. The only way we can prevent the nectar of praise from becoming the poison of pride is by following the Lord with a humble heart. Humility's a slippery prize that seldom can be won. We're only humble in God's eyes when serving like his son, Gustafson. The crucible of silver and the furnace of gold, but man is tested by praise he receives. Proverbs 21, verse 21. And then the verse you should look at, his fame spread far and wide, for he was marvelously helped till he became strong. There you have it, folks. Second Chronicles 26, verse 15.
Yes.
There you have it. So, pride comes before the fall.
Yeah.
Don't forget. So, and it's the first step to what Jesus called at the Sermon on the Mount, blessed are the pure at heart, which means blessed are the humble.
Yes.
There you have it.
There you go. It's going on almost 11:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I want to thank all of our chatters and mods, all our guests, Because 77, DS Photo Guy, Earl Big Skillet, Edward Mappa, Gecko Lizard, Plastic Canvas, Amazingly Funny, Heavy Hitters Club, I Have Issues, Prankomania Prank, Shoddy Brave 72, Strange Place, and Vapes versus Cards. Also want to thank Coffee Guy who was here earlier. Also,
Scott and Anthony,
and Saibuki. Yeah, Saibuki and I mentioned Coffee Guy.
and Saibuki, Coffee Guy.
Yeah.
Was Vorpon today?
I don't
think so.
And also, goodness, there was a whole bunch of Donnie Curry who was also here, and Rocco,
and
a whole bunch of other folks.
Is Prankster he's still on. Okay. But thank you all for being a part of our show. We hope that you'll be back tomorrow for Flippin' Friday.
Yes, Flippin' Friday, which will be May 31st, the last day of May.
Oh, yeah. So
we're going to get ready. So you probably might get, if this weekend is going to be the 1st of June. So get your fans, get your ice cubes, get your slushies and your air conditions ready, because you will be using them a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's 81 degrees right now. It's getting hotter and hotter as the day goes by. It's nice and sunny right now with a high of 89 and a low of 69. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
And we're going to leave you with the Howie video.
Oh, yeah. Check out this Howie video. You're going to love it.
Howie reporting live. Busting out of jail.
Bye, Gecko. Check out the Howie's video.
Let's go, man. Hey, Jennifer, can I ask you to resign Monday? Listen, are you recording me?
I am. Let's go.
Can I tell you what I gotta say?
Outside.
Right here on the steps of the courthouse, please.
Go
I
on.
was fucking abused. I was police brutalized tonight, multiple times inside the LEC. Let's go. Let's walk. No, I was, and I'm calling the Reverend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. I'm asking Jerry Modena to fucking resign.
Just leave before you get locked back.
I'm gonna be here for a press conference. That's Tom Zander from 105.5, and he's my. Let's go. Did you hear I was gonna have a press conference with 13? Where's all my food at? Dude,
Someone took
in
it.
Patrick's cab.
You can't show off like that to these police
Fuck
officers.
these people, they're dirty as fuck. I'm suing the Bibb County Sheriff's Department for police. Do you know what they got me, Vaughn?
What?
When I walked out of Greek Deli, intoxication and disorderly conduct. I didn't have a drink all day yesterday.
I thought they got you today.
They got me twice. Tom, I was arrested 2 times in one day, dude.
What happened, man? You gotta tell me this story. You
I
gotta.
will sue Jerry Modena, you fucking reckless fucking piece of shit.
That will get you locked up again.
I've already been in there. I don't care. I'm not afraid of jail.
Who is Jerry Modena got to do with it? What's he got?
He's not running a good sheriff department. He doesn't know what's going on in his own jail, man. There's no accountability here. Put that on YouTube. Where's your truck?
Right here.
Who's this?
This is Justin.
Where's my food at?
There's a problem with your food.
What's wrong with it?
The police officer
Money Penny for making PD.
told the cab driver that
I bought it at J&L Supermarket.
he told the cab driver that seeing as you stiffed him on the tab, take the
Patrick's my
food.
friend, though.
He gave him the food. He said, take the food.
But we know Patrick.
Then you can sort that all out and get your food.
Yeah.
Your
I'm
dog.
putting this on YouTube.
Yeah, I got it all. I documented the whole trip.
Let me-
But check this
You
out.
documented the whole trip?
Yeah.
Can we play it for the media?
Oh man, I'll
You're
give
the
you
fucking
all.
deaf kid. I'm buying you a new car.
No, I need you to actually. We're gonna talk.
We gotta talk.
We gotta
Listen, can I
talk.
say something?
Hold on camera.
You documented everything. Did you know I was hurt?
I didn't know you were
Did
hurt.
you know what I got?
I know that you smashed your hands down on the. You were throwing a scene up in there.
Did you talk to Artie?
No, I talked to the lady at the LEC or at the bonds
You gotta
office.
stop rolling the camera. Stop the footage.
I needed to know the truth.
What do you want to know?
I want to know how you
I'll
got.
tell you everything at the IHOP on Tom Hill.
I can't go out to eat right now. We got to get you back to. You got to get you back to home. You know.
Let me tell you something.
What is this?
Let me tell you something.
Your jail garb?
You're fucking damn right. You know what's going on in there? Don't record this.
I got to. What's going on in there?
People are innocently being locked up. They don't have attorneys. One guy, my cellmate, Jamie Jones, remember Jamie Jones?
It's on camera.
His mom died 2 weeks ago while he was in jail, and he's innocent.
Says he.
Dude, I've been in here before. I've been hurt before. In 2008, Deputy French threw me down in J Block against the metal grate stairs, and then he died later on overseas in Iraq. This is a true story. Tonight, I faked a seizure, and they put me in a headlock. I faked that I was paralyzed just to test their fucking response, and they no, this isn't funny. Because
No, it's fucked up that you do that. You can't fake.
doesn't matter. Frank Malloy's kid just had a crash with
Yeah.
Malloy, and he's paralyzed. These fucking people, these deputies are all crooked. The new sheriff, because Modina's done, the new sheriff needs to come in. Bill Lucas, who I'm going to call before my press conference Monday. Dude, I already talked to 13. I'm claiming police brutality and police misconduct and wrongful arrest. Did you know that 13 was sending a crew? Do you know this is going to be on the front page of the Telegraph? Do you know I covered Modena when I was a reporter, when he was running for sheriff back in 2000? And did you know what song I played in the background of the story? I edited in. You ready?
What is that?
The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
All right, man. Let's get in. Let's get out of here. All right.
You recorded it. Make a